And welcome everybody to once again yet another Tuesday show. My name is James Chen and I am joined by the coolest Ultra David in the world and
That's what we'll go
Tuba
with. The coolest. That's the
the
coolest version. Listen,
hippest
I
and
decided
That's as cool as it gets.
I'm not wearing glasses today because David's a nerd and he wears glasses. Therefore, nerds wear glasses. Yeah, see? James understands.
Couple recently told me that I'm his nerdiest friend. Was that on this
Yeah,
show?
it's for
I
sure.
can't believe it.
I mean, I've told you a few times recently.
It's stuck with me. You know a lot of nerds. I can't believe that that's true, but also
It's
it's
very
true. Anyway,
true.
thanks a lot to everybody for joining us for tonight for the show. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Here are some of the topics on the side. We're going to be talking about Riptide results, and then also some stuff that happened. I guess that's also results in a sense. You'll hear about it. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. A bunch of new news for that. Twitch Rivals has some cool news for sure. We have our buddy Skisonic out here for the interview. I'm really excited about that. Thank you for being on the show. That's super cool. We'll talk about some other game news. We'll talk about some other community news for sure. But yeah, I guess we'll start by getting into Riptide.
oh man. No, someone in the chat says it's hard to compete with someone who writes fan fiction for Avatar. So, I mean, kind of
David's like a triple, quadruple layered nerd. It's like he likes like pop culture nerdy stuff. He likes actual nerdy stuff like 3D printing, and then he also likes history. Like he's a history buff, and he doesn't like music. He listens to podcasts. Yeah, like there's several layers to that's why you're the nerdiest friend I have.
I mean, I'm trying
You're
to
not
think
just
right
one
now.
type of nerd, you're several.
Like I have a lot of nerdy friends, but I mean, David is. I mean,
he's up there, man.
I mean, I don't think my friend Cone in the chat would be mad if I said that he's kind of nerdy as well. I'm sure he would be willing to cop to that, but still, I think David kind of outdoes him.
Well
done,
I
David.
think that's all right. That's all right.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I don't think Cone's ever written fan fiction for Avatar, honestly. So,
Check it out. I got a little screw and a little nut on it. It's so cool. I'm having a blast, as you can tell. Anyway, all right, let's get into this Riptide thing. Here's what happened. Riptide is a big Smash event. And in fact...
Hey, James, you have the timer?
Although there have been other Smash events. It's not actually literally the first one. But it was huge, and it took place this past weekend in Ohio. Lots of top players across the various games. Over 1,000 players in Smash Ultimate, about 750 in Melee. Really, really big tournament. And a lot of people came, from all over. Yeah. Not just in terms of numbers, of course, but like in terms of geographic spread, right? That from all over.
People were flying in.
They were absolutely flying in. Yeah, for sure. In the tournaments, there was some cool stuff. MKLeo won Smash Bros. Ultimate with Byleth and Pira Mithra. Tweak, second place, Diddy Kong, Sephiroth. I always really like watching this game now because the character variety is really high. Like, not just character variety, but also archetype variety in a way that, although I really enjoy watching Melee as well, it's like not so much there in many of the matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
In this game, there's a lot of really different archetypes, and it's super cool.
I mean, did you watch this one here? Did you get to see what they did with Blythe and Pyrrha and stuff? So, like, I mean, how does she play? Is she considered strong? Are they considered strong?
Byleth is considered that strong, but I'm wrong. I'm definitely no expert. I'm super casual when it comes to Smash.
But MKLeo is MKLeo, basically.
He's very good for sure. But Pira Mithra also got third as well with Spargo playing with them and also Cloud. So my understanding is that one of those two is really good. Whichever is the one that's not the heavy, slow launcher character. I don't remember which one is which offhand.
Well, Wasik says Pithra is considered top 3 by most people. So there you go.
Makes sense to me. I mean, just it seemed like she had a lot of different options. Or they
it always just seems that way, right? If you have a character who's really good and has the ability to transform into something else, just to have other options. Like, you would imagine young Zeku would be considered one of the best characters in the game by himself, but he just has the ability to also switch to an old Zeku for times that he needs it for extra mix-ups and stuff. So it's just like, if you're a good character and you have another mode, it seems like it's always going to be good.
Dang, Spargo is 15? I did not realize that. That's so cool.
Dang.
Well, congrats. Shout out.
The next gen.
The next gen. Yep. Very cool. In Melee, IBDW won, which is cool because I guess that's kind of next gen for them as well. He's been on the come up big time for a couple years. I don't know, a while at this point, but I think this is his first like big major win, is my understanding. I think I saw him tweet that.
Nice.
I've seen him get grand finals before for sure, but I think this is his first time number one.
Okay.
Plup got second. Hungry Bucks got third. So, I mean, there were definitely some strong players there. Not like every strong player, but there were a lot of really strong players there. And then in Rivals of Ether, Cake Assault won. I did not watch this. However, I did see the pop-off. Did you guys see the pop-off?
Oh, it was Rivals of Ether.
Course.
I thought it was Brawlhalla. Okay, it's Rivals of Ether. Okay.
Yeah.
It was Rivals of Ether, and he popped off so hard that his shoulder popped off.
He
actually dislocated his shoulder in celebrating so hard. You know, doing some of these. He was punching the sky.
He was throwing his arms
like
down really hard, and I think he punched down so hard that this shoulder disconnected, and he was writhing on the floor briefly before he got up and continued to pop off a little bit while holding the shoulder in a little bit of pain. And hopefully he got that relocated and everything is okay.
I thought it was perfect timing that happened at the same time that a tweet was going around of a Call of Duty team popping off. And it was like the weakest shit on earth. Yeah, F-bomb. Yeah, we did it. And that was it. And even the commentators laughed at him. They're like, all right, guys, you're cool. And then the hardest pop-off ever of someone literally busting a limb happens. Like,
I heard people were
night and day.
I heard people were complaining about that Call of Duty pop-off like it was too much or something like that, you know.
Well, that's how the tweet was worded, but I don't think anybody actually thought that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
the tweet was like, "Oh, they're scary," but it was like a kitten's meow. It was
I don't think
it was not
intimidating. I saw that, and I saw some FGC people ripping on it, and I just thought it was cute. It was like cool, like these kids are enjoying themselves, you know. Congratulations. Like, I feel like that's something
you wanted to just be like, "Aw," and pet them like kittens, dude.
It was like kittens. It was adorable.
It was very cute. I totally agree.
Come on.
All right. Thanks for the refresh. I'll come back to you soon.
There you go.
Lots of people were saying the FPS pop-off was in
Man, I didn't see anybody.
I'm luckily not plugged into whatever side of Twitter.
Yeah, thank goodness I'm not with those.
See, that's what I thought. I remember people. Some people were saying something. That's what I remember reading somewhere. So apparently,
I thought the original tweet was the only thing that worded it that way.
Okay.
It's like I said, even the commentator they just laughed. It's like these guys. All right. Anyways, back to important stuff.
Yeah, but we got someone ripping their shoulder off. I've never dislocated a shoulder. I've heard that it's super painful, but as soon as it pops back in, it's like pain is gone almost instantly or something like that. So. But,
believe it or
David,
not, I have actually not done that. No, I actually
I just assumed. I just assumed that your shoulder had fallen off at some point.
It hasn't actually done it. It's been tearing. The rotator cuffs are tearing in both sides and have been for like 15 years for no reason. But I haven't actually finally popped it out. So, you know, whenever it happens, and I'm sure it will, I'll let you know.
This is a good point, though. Can we actually call David a nerd when he played lots of sports and actually broke his ankle stepping in a gopher hole in football and then beating up?
That's literally the nerd playing football.
But
the guy that steps in the gopher hole.
But he also beat up on a bunch of little kids in hockey, right? So
sounds like an angry nerd who wanted to take some frustrations out for stepping in a gopher hole. That's what it sounds like to me.
Fair enough.
Man, I don't know why a nerd can't also play sports and hang out with cheerleaders. Why not? Why can't that happen? Huh?
Yeah, you can do both.
I think you can do both. Just, live a full life. That's all. As far as Cake Assault goes, I hope that he'll be okay, but that was hilarious. Just, with the understanding that if it's like a long-term injury, it won't have been hilarious. But I hope that
Right.
that's not true.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
hope
it's one of those things that like Justin's barrel roll is gonna be iconic forever, even though that
Yeah.
was him tripping and falling. But you know, it's just gonna work out that way at this point in time.
So it seemed like it was a good event. Some stuff that happened that was really fun to watch. Congrats to all the players involved. In addition, and the reason that we're in the main talking about this right at the top of the show instead of like later on where we usually talk about tournaments is that one breakthrough COVID case was confirmed. This was confirmed in somebody who was vaccinated, but
Really?
breakthrough case is the kind of terminology for that. Yeah. So this is a tweet from Chicago Smash TOs. We have been made aware of at least one breakthrough case of COVID-19 at Riptide. The person is vaccinated and from Chicagoland. For legal reasons, we cannot disclose their identity, but we want to heavily encourage all Riptide attendees to be tested for COVID as soon as Wednesday, aka tomorrow, I guess. And then other tournament organizers of locals and regionals and the like have been out there on Twitter saying, you know, please don't come to our event. Like, take a week or two off. If you went to Riptide, take a week or two off, stay at home. You know, please don't come, or provide a negative COVID test, proof of negative COVID test, and then you can come in, something like that. So
obviously,
they're worried about
proof of
spread,
test
naturally.
after Riptide, right? So
After Riptide,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And even the Riptide Twitter says to get tested. You know, so there again, my understanding is that they did all the things that they could do, given that you're running a very large event where there were thousands of people there. But with that as a given, that they did a lot of things that they could do. I don't know that Ohio allows all the things you might like to do, but they did a lot of things in order to try to have a safe event.
Right.
And
I mean, it sounds like they required
one person with a breakthrough
vaccinations.
event, through vaccination, could have been worse, maybe. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, this is kind of one of the reasons why, you know, Tubo didn't go to the Tampa event, right? And so kind of one of the reasons why I feel like it might be too soon still to go to these events. I know people are, I mean, it's tough. I know we're all chomping at the bit to get back to these events. I know how much we want to get back to these events. I just recently, like, hung out with a couple of people for like a little birthday celebration because it was just like, man, it's been forever since we did this, and I know we all want to get back to normal. I'm kind of breaking my own rules at the same time too, but you know, I feel like it's not over. We still got to keep doing this, man. We still got to keep social distancing and stuff and being careful about everything. And I'm still making sure that I'm wearing my masks and everything like that. So it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, no, we're not ready to do that. We're not ready for these events. But the fact of the matter is, the rest of the country is kind of just acting like the pandemic's over. I mean, I go to my local grocery store and some of the workers don't even have masks on. Like, you know, like maybe half the people in the store are wearing a mask. When I go to my corner store, the guys never wear a mask anymore. Like, I'm the only person I see in there that wears one still. Like the majority of the country is just moving on. And I mean, kind of, I think where we are right now is if the country doesn't decide to shut down schools at some point soon, because lots of kids have already died, as well as teachers. If they don't decide to do that and they just push through the school year, then the country's going to just move on as if we're out of the pandemic. So we're going to start seeing more events, whether we like it or not, if that's the case, right?
That's crazy.
I hope that's not the case. I hope schools shut down and we have another lockdown and shit gets taken care of. But obviously, like, if that doesn't happen, the reality we're looking at is more events keep happening. And like, what can the TOs do if they have a deal with a hotel that they have to run something? What choice do they have when the state says, yeah, it's safe, go ahead and do it? They don't have a choice. They have to do it. Like, for example, CEO is coming up. I I was one of the lucky people that got in on the second wave of CEO, thinking it was June. I was like, oh yeah, great, everything's going great, numbers are low. Yeah, I'll sign up for CEO. And look where we are now. And now Jabali lives in the worst state for COVID, where the governor is actively trying to kill people, basically. And they're definitely not going to shut down. Jabali's going to have to run CEO no matter what now. And he's not going to be able to, require vaccination. That's not legal in his state. So CEO is probably going to be, an issue too.
He's got to be able to have
our future.
He's got to be able to have his own say in that, right? He's got to be able
to... I think the law is if you require vaccination for your event or for your concert or whatever, there's a $4,000 fee. Yeah, I guarantee you he can't afford to pay that. Like, that would ruin any profit that CEO would bring in. So what can you do, man?
Yeah, that's a
$5,000 fine per person.
I think it's 5,000. Yeah,
per person. Per person.
I didn't realize it was per person. Okay.
Yikes! Yeah, so that would be what 1,000 people going to see you. It's like a $50,000 fine. No big deal.
$50 for
something that none of us can afford. So this is just our future, I think, man. This is going to happen more and more, and it sucks.
Dude, I mean, Crimson says that he's in Orange County and nobody's wearing masks, which is crazy because, I mean, I'm in Santa Monica. When I'm walking around, most people in my area seem to be wearing masks, but...
Dude, you live a world away from Orange County.
Yeah,
the west side of Los Angeles is a world away from Orange County.
But I'm just surprised that, like California is, there. I mean, Orange County, I guess, has always been kind of
I'm in Hollywood. Most people around here are masking. When I go literally a few miles north of here and I'm in the valley, nobody's masking. Like it really is like that. It's a completely different situation in different little pockets of this city and I'm sure many others.
Yeah, for sure.
So my view is that at some point we have to have be willing to have some degree of risk because that's life. And while I want to minimize that and be safe, I think that it's possible in some states, in some places, to be clear, to make that happen, and not everywhere. I would not want to go to Orlando right now, unfortunately. I mean, I love CEO. It's not a place I'm going to go right now. However, there are places where I am willing to go, and in fact have been going. I went to a play last week. Like I've been doing stuff with a lot of people.
I want to see Shang-Chi.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like there's some degree. So if you have a really big event like this one was, and if it's the case that one person got a breakthrough of the vaccine and that person is okay, which I hope and expect will be the case, then I kind of think like good job. Like that is a nicely run situation. I hadn't heard that they took temperatures before you came in, but in the chat, people are saying that. That's great. They required, negative COVID test or vaccination, and they required masking. What I read is that not everybody, in fact, did mask, but like it would be great if everybody did, but it's hard to enforce that constantly. So I feel like if that's the result, that there is one person and they're fine, hopefully not a big deal. If it turns out that like we find out that was a spreader event, which is possible because you can certainly still get sick if you're vaccinated, it's less likely, substantially less likely. And if you get sick, you're much less likely to get seriously sick, right? But still possible to have a spreader event. I hope that that's not the case. But if what happened is one person gets sick out of the 1,000 plus who are there, then I think that's like the life that we have at this stage.
Yeah,
and
if one person gets sick period at a tournament, that's an all-time record.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, think back to what we expected before. I mean, obviously a different situation. Those are what we got were annoying sicknesses and not like deadly diseases. Obviously, there's a difference. But,
yeah.
But still, like if that's not the case, if the person's okay, yada yada, then I think that's okay. And I would rather live in a world where there's zero sickness, but that's just probably not plausible. So I want to have a reasonable expectation that there is at least some risk that's tolerable. We all do this all day. We go outside. There are car accidents. Like we go on the freeway anyway. This is life. I don't want to downplay COVID. That's like obvious. That I hope it doesn't come off as if I'm doing that because that's absolutely not my intention.
Right.
But I do want to have events again, and in the world there is COVID, and it's staying bad, and in places where it continues to be bad and is in fact getting worse, I wouldn't go.
Yeah,
but places where it is okay, where the vaccination rates are good, where you can require people to be vaccinated or have negative COVID tests, yeah, I think I'm okay with it at this point.
I mean, one of the things,
masking being compulsory, yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you have to have all that there, but if that is all there, then I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part is we're not going to stop people from not getting vaccinated and stuff like that. Like, we don't have the ability to control that. There's a lot of people out there who's just not going to do that. So, yeah, I mean, just like Tubo said, I went and saw Shang-Chi as well, but I went intentionally to a midnight showing, so that it was going to be as empty as possible and stuff. But, trying to get back to normal life, but, still at the same time, I guess not. But, like Gundam Jehudi Kai says in the chat, this kind of is the new norm.
Yeah, and this is life.
It'll be this way for a while. And I still always think back to what you talked about, how during the 1920s and such, that there's not a lot of documentation about, the pandemic at the time, because it became normal. Like, it wasn't.
Well, there's a lot of documentation, but it didn't figure as big in pop culture as you might expect.
Right. Exactly what I meant. Yeah. It just it became just such a natural part of life, right, in a way, that it just wasn't something to bring up. It was just like, yeah, there's that pandemic thing,
Yeah, Dubudomo says, I have young kids and I'll be anxious until they can get vaccinated. Yeah. I totally understand that. Maybe not understand because I don't have kids and I'm sure it's different. Well, but I get that is a concern. If I had kids,
could get COVID, okay?
What?
Ajax could get COVID, okay?
I'll have you know that since COVID started, we've been super cautious about making sure, no, totally. So that is something that we were concerned about. Well, still are living our lives is being concerned about. If I had kids, I probably wouldn't be going to these things too.
Let's put it this way. My nephew, one of my nephews is old enough to be vaccinated. The other one is not. And so, tangentially, I know exactly how it is because I talk to my brother about it all the time. And yeah, he's kind of going through a lot of that as well. He wouldn't do anything. He's not doing a lot, basically anything that he doesn't have to because of his kids,
Oh, two of my nephews did get COVID, and they are okay.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, no.
There was a school outbreak where they live in North Carolina, and, my sister-in-law got COVID. It sucked. So this is something that is not at all theoretical. Again, if you have the protections of requiring vaccination or negative COVID test, if you have the requirements of having a mask on, if you have people who are taking it seriously in an area that also takes it seriously, rather than just being some small island of an event that takes it seriously. If you walk outside and nobody's taking it seriously, I don't want to be there, right? But in places where it is being taken seriously in general, this is the life that we have at the moment, and I think that that we have to accept some risk.
You know what I take seriously? Moving on time, and we're about 30 seconds past, so let's keep it.
All I'll say is, I know there's a lot of people who don't want to do this, and it sucks that it's become a political thing. But please do get vaccinated. It shouldn't even be a political thing. It shouldn't be a left or a right issue or something like that. Just again. I mean, your family is all okay, right, David? Like everybody's good.
Everybody's
and everything.
Fine, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, dude, it's too real, and please let's get vaccinated. So just to
for sure
keep safe. So okay.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Good luck out there, Converse. So let's talk about a video game. What do you think about that? We can switch to talking about video games.
Sure.
Is that cool? All right, sweet. Let's do it then. So let's talk about the video game Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This is a game that we have been talking about just over the last few weeks. And this past week, they revealed a bunch of stuff. They talked a lot about it. So before we break down any one part of it, here's what they did. They put out a gameplay breakdown video where they, in detail, talked about stuff that's in the game, and even getting to tech that's like, fancier, higher level stuff when it comes to a game like Smash Bros. They were talking about it in there.
Wave dashing.
Yeah, wave dashing. Obviously, they built it in, right? These are people who like platform fighters, who are making the game clearly, which is cool. So they put that in there. They, talked about how the percents work, which is on the more basic end. They talked about how the moves work. There's a light and a heavy, and there's a special move for each character in different directions of each. There's different movement options.
No tilt.
You can like dizzy somebody in the corner, basically on the ledge, which is interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I really like that gameplay breakdown vid. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, and it's just, oh God, you just watch it, and you could just see the giddiness of. You could just see the giddiness of the developers who were clearly Smash Brothers Melee fans, getting to make their own Melee. And, the fact that they even just said, if you can do this, you can wave dash. And it's just like, they sounded so proud. It was like, it almost sounded like they were being like, my kid won the spelling bee just this past weekend, That's how it sounded to me when they were like, you could wave dash. I mean, you could just, it's so good. I mean, I'm happy for the people making this game, and I'm excited to see how this does.
Yeah. I mean, I watch it. It looks cool. Like I said, there's no tilts. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Tilt attacks are annoying. There's a
totally
strafe button. There's a strafe.
That's right. There's strafe. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't turn around when you're running around.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I definitely like that.
I mean, so the question Converse asks is, does Nintendo have copyright over some of the Smash mechanics that they can call upon? I mean, I think that's probably what was such a big deal about that Fighters History lawsuit that they won against Capcom, right? When Capcom tried to sue them.
That was for input motions.
Was it only for input motions? Oh,
yeah, specifically. But
okay.
I mean, and you're fine. Don't worry about this. If there had been a patent, then maybe a different story, but there's not, so it's all good. Data East versus Capcom is the case. All right, and then there was also gameplay showcases for SpongeBob and for Sandy Cheeks. Did you guys watch those?
I didn't watch
Sandy
those
looks like
ones.
Cheeks.
Are you serious? No, you just want
Sandy looks like Cheeks.
You just want a good line. You don't really think that.
No, I don't actually. I think she looked whack. I mean, not like as a character, but like her kit looked whack to me.
Dude, I was literally watching this like, tell me how this character is not going to be top tier. Do you see the movement on that character? The movement, the options, where the buttons attack. Come on.
No, I don't like it. I thought she looked whack.
Wow.
I thought SpongeBob looked way stronger.
Really?
Yeah. I thought SpongeBob looked real strong.
All right, James, who's top tier?
I was watching the video with Cat Dog, and he beat the crap out of the other person in the video.
Lucy Loud, your favorite character.
Lucy Loud, right? Yeah. Yes, and
your favorite character.
Definitely, Cat Dog looked strong. No, I mean,
looks good. I'm with you.
Dude, seriously, in that video though, I mean, it just the gameplay looks fluid. Like, it looks fluid. It, like, from some pictures, it looked like it might have been a little bit janky, but it's not. I mean, clearly the biggest problem with the game is the lack of voice acting. But they've already said that if they put in the actual voice actors, that would be, like, the entire budget for the game.
Right.
Maybe more.
Yeah. So, and also, for those of you that don't know, if you use union members for one voice in a video game, the union states all voices must be union members. So they can't like pick and choose and maybe like get the voice actor for SpongeBob and then have a bunch of replacements on the other ones. Like they can't do that. Also, there's no way in hell Nickelodeon would let them cast different voices for their iconic characters. There's no way.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. When I saw the game, I wasn't disappointed by the lack of voiceovers because I expected them to not be there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, this is clearly a game on a budget. They're not going to be able to afford the voice acting. It's just not going to be there. Okay. Like in my brain, like it made sense. So then when people found out, I was like, oh, you're a bunch of whiny babies complaining. But actually, I actually do understand why they're disappointed. Yeah. Like it makes sense.
Sure.
And if
But
the
also,
game,
stop being whiny babies. You're getting to play Reptar against Ren and Stimpy in a platform fighter in the year 2021. Just enjoy it.
and there's another thing too is, I mean, if the game comes out and it turns out to be some kind of weird smash success, you know, some a smash hit kind of thing like that, not intended, it came out that way. I mean, there could be a thing that maybe a lot of the voice actors would be like, dude, we totally should be putting our voices in this game, like, you know, and maybe somehow they can do it for smaller amounts. I don't know, you know.
The union is the one who decides.
I don't know, man.
That's true.
Their minimum.
That's true.
They can't like go under that, or the union gets pissed off.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. I mean, because it kind of happened with Power Rangers at first, right? There was no voice acting in Power Rangers at first.
Yep,
right?
and they got it later. That's actually what I've been telling people too. That maybe this game is all of a sudden a hit, and they can afford to go back and hire the voice acting later on. Like that could be a possibility. Who knows?
Would be cool. Yeah, I agree with you that Cat Dog looked good. I thought Lucy Loud looked not interesting. However, I think it was just like a bad CPU that was using Lucy Loud.
Or something.
Yeah,
it was a player. It was a player. Definitely.
Do you think it was a human?
2P. It was 2P. I'm pretty sure it was 2P.
It could have just been a CPU. I don't know.
Might have
Dude.
been. It did not. I mean, look.
Somebody
Lucy
who was
Loud
not
got,
showing the character off.
Dude, she got bodied, dude.
She got bodied. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they don't want to show the character off yet.
Okay,
So
yeah.
all right.
He didn't do stuff.
Strange choice to pick Lucy Loud then, but all right, maybe. And then Nigel Thornberry was funny. He just has like funny animations versus April O'Neil, who is a big fighting character nowadays. As of like last month, she got announced for 2 games, or a fighting game and side
Big
scrolling
April
beat 'em up.
fans all around.
All right. And then there was a reveal that Ren and
there.
Stimpy is coming to the game. Conjugation was correct there. It's not that Ren and Stimpy are coming to the game. Ren and Stimpy is coming to the game because it's a single character. And somehow, for whatever reason, Brock was halfway right about this. What happened?
First off, I'm 100% correct.
All right, well, what did you say? What was your point?
I said that Ren and Stimpy will be the Ice Climbers. They'll be the 2 characters playing as one. That's what I said. They'll be the Ice Climbers.
Yes.
Now, in my lingo as a not Smash player, if there's 2 characters being played as one, that's an Ice Climber, okay? If Kazuya and Terry Bogard are Shotos, Ren and Stimpy is a fucking Ice Climber.
In your lingo?
Is Banjo-Kazooie an ice climber?
Yes, absolutely. That's an Ice Climber.
So this is like an archetype category for you. This is
treading on some dangerous.
Terry and Kazuya are Shotos, then anybody that's 2 characters being played as one.
Okay, is Carl Clover an Ice Climbers?
No, that's a puppet character. We're talking about Smash games. We're not talking about fighting games.
What? Oh, that just got even worse.
I'm picking my words tonight.
Did you just go that way? Did you just go?
I had a few under 10 follower account Twitter accounts trying to come at me on Twitter when I said that. So now I'm fighting the whole Smash community.
Is Duck Hunt Dog an Ice Climber character?
Actually, I'll be honest. I've never even seen Duck Hunt played, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, is Olimar an Ice Climbers?
I don't know. I don't think so. That would be like calling Frank West an Ice Climber because he throws zombies. You don't control the zombies.
Kind of. I think that is kind of.
I'm talking about you hit left on the stick and both characters run left. You hit right on the stick, both characters run right. 2 characters played as one.
Kazooie is in the backpack of Banjo.
Yeah,
like he has to go with him no matter what, right?
Well, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I think Olimar is a Frank West. Frank West is now a category of character.
Yeah, it's Frank West now. Or anyway, Jill and NBC too.
Is Zelda and Sheik in Melee an Ice Climber character?
No, they're the same human being. Has to be 2 different entities.
Yeah, I think it's got to be simultaneous rather than like.
What about Rosalina? She an Ice Climber?
Is there 2 bodies?
Brock doesn't know who that is, but I do. I think under his definition that probably is an Ice Climber. Yeah.
But see,
I think my definition is time is up. Let's keep.
That's more of a puppet character, though, right? So.
Well, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Fucking Ren Stimpy's an ice
Is
climber.
Ferritor an ice climber?
He doesn't know.
No, that's a Chang and whatever.
Chang and Short.
Can we go? We need to move, man.
All right, fine.
I gotta stream tonight. I don't want to go to bed at 1 a.m.
We'll do it. Let's talk about the next bit of news here, which is. By the way, Ren Stimpy looks cool.
Is Jacko an ice climber character?
Oh my god, no. Jesus Christ. We can do this all night. We can just turn this into the cast tonight. Ask me who's an ice climber. Just go through the entire fighting game. Smorgasbord, that's the show tonight.
What about Yun in CVS 2?
Ooh, okay. All right. What about Dalsum when he puts out a yoga catastrophe that just bounces along the ground?
No,
now, is he two
it's
characters?
not a living entity.
Okay, all right.
It's Ryu in the Fireball as the ice climber.
Team Showdown has been announced. This is a team tournament between teams from Japan and from North America, online, of course. And it's going to be done through Twitch Rivals. It will be for $20,000. And that is amazing. It's going to be September 17th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So just in a few days. I'm absolutely going to be checking that out. That sounds awesome. If you're in Japan, it's Saturday morning, the 18th at 11 a.m. Just so you get an idea. Here are the teams. So for Team Japan, it's BNBBN, Clear Lamp, Daru Ino, I don't know some of these offhand. Mako Turarin, is that somebody else whose name I would know more? Not unsure. Nage 77 Pretzel. Oh, Pure or Pure, whatever. RF, and then Ume MK2.
So apparently
Unsure.
You call yourself a Guilty Gear fan. You don't even know these players.
I don't know their Twitter handles. Do I know their Twitter handles? No, I don't.
Yeah, of course. You have to learn Japanese to follow them on Twitter and know what they're saying. That's when you're a true Guilty Gear fan.
Okay,
that's why me and Saltine has been learning Japanese for years, just so he can be a true Guilty Gear fan.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah, Daru's in the Japan team. Team NA is Apology Man, Cloud 805, Hanzo Gonzo, Hotashi, Kizzy K, Mike Ross, Octopimp, and Reynald. It's cool. What do you think about these teams? Assuming that
it sure is a bunch of content creators against a bunch of pro players. That's cool.
So I heard that Giuna was the one who put together the Japan team, and he was trying to take it all serious, and he was like, I might have overdone it a little bit, because clearly the US team is going to be more personality than well, I mean, obviously they have a lot of strong players on there. I'm not going to knock a lot of players on
for
there.
sure. Dude, yeah, Hotashi won Evo, Apology Man, Cloud 805, Kizzy K, Mike Ross, Reynald has also won an Evo. Like, what do you guys? These are good players.
You name Mike Ross, like Mike Ross is Street Fighter 4 4th place Mike Ross. That's not the same Mike Ross anymore.
Didn't he win
This is Waxel.
He won
in the previous year.
Didn't he, like, it was a Canada Cup that I think he won Guilty Gear or something like that, or he came in second or something.
I think so.
Yeah. He won the Guilty Gear that got shut down at like 7:30 p.m. Like I'm that's not even that's like the Canada Cup that seriously got shut down at like 7:30
that was
or 8
previous
p.m.
year.
No, that was the year
that's
before
the one that's the one that Mike won.
Okay, well, I don't remember.
That was the one that got shut down. I only know that because he was on his stream talking about that not that long ago.
Okay.
That's the only reason I know that.
I will have you know that Hanzo Gonzo was the secret key for winning Aftershock years and years and years ago on the Marvel 3 teams.
Dude,
tournaments.
People don't know because he's concentrating on other stuff. But Hanzo Gonzo was a really good fighting game player. And don't you tell him that I said positive things about him, but he is a really good fighting game player. And like he's doing more on the broadcasting and organizing and that side of things than the playing side and streaming and stuff. But when he plays and when he wants to take a game seriously, he's really good, honestly.
But, however, did you know that someone bet Hanzo Gonzo will not win a single game? He's going to play it's round robin, by the way, everyone, if you guys didn't know. He's going to play a minimum of 24 games assuming nothing goes 2 out of 3. Nothing goes to a third game. And people have been betting $50 that Hanzo will not take a single game. There's no way in hell Hanzo Gonzo doesn't take a single game.
I agree with you.
4, he's going to get 1. He's not a bad fighting game player.
No,
However,
he's a good fighting game player.
He'll probably get like 4 or 5, and that's it. Like, I don't think he's going to win a lot.
If it's round robin, is there 2 lives, or you say because it's 2 out of 3?
It's 2. I'm pretty sure it's 2 out of 3 games.
So he'll play
set.
16 at minimum. Then is what you're saying.
Would he play 24, or is my math wrong?
Because there's only
he'll play 16 games.
Yeah.
Or no, he'll play minimum, right? But maximum would be like 24.
Maximum 24.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so there's no way he doesn't like take a game. There's no way. Even out of 16, you give him 10. You would take 1, I think.
I think you're right, dude. I would absolutely bet that he would take at least 1 game from that. Look, I mean, again, Hotashi won Evo recently. Like, he's he's one of the best players for sure. So that's a big one. The other players who are here are also players who have won big stuff in the past, who have done well at events in the past, who are currently really good Guilty Gear Strive players. So I don't know. I mean, I've seen some people saying that they think this is going to be a blow up, and I'm not sure that that's.
Oh, I definitely think it's going to be a blow up.
Going to be the case.
if it's not Japan blowing us up, it'll be the connection. Because that's what happened.
These are mostly West Coast players. So.
Well, no, everybody's going to be on the West Coast for this. I'm pretty sure. But regardless of that, when they did this, Hotashi's flying out there.
Okay.
But last time they did this, there was internet problems. Like the netcode is great, but it's still.
You can't
overseas.
fix distance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't fix the distance, man. Like the text is not there. So, I hope. I don't want it to go badly. I hope it goes smoothly. But last time they tried this, there was a ton of internet problems. So good luck to Twitch. I mean, I hope I'm gonna restream it and commentate it and all that myself. So I want it to go smoothly and great, just for my own sanity.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to sit there an extra 4 hours while they figure out the lobbies or whatever.
I definitely want to watch. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I think there's gonna be a blow up one way or the other.
FAB will be on commentary.
Oh, sick! Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's all overseas commentary, right? There's no English.
Well, you can restream, but.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But there's no official English.
Not that I've read.
It's happening on Friday. It's happening this Friday, 7 p.m. U.S. time, Saturday, 11 a.m. Japan time. So I'll probably be
U.S.
trying to restream it as well. I'm sorry.
Time for the entire. You know what? That's Californian of you. Yeah, 7 p.m. U.S. time.
It's true.
Our time is
true.
just the time of the country.
Yeah, pretty much. So, best coast.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this?
No.
Let's go, Mike Ross. Let's go, Hanzo. I want to see some W's from you guys.
I definitely agree, and I think it's really cool that Twitch is continuing to do fighting game stuff for Twitch rivals.
For sure.
And I'm really happy that Guilty Gear Strive is there, because Strive is such a meetup game. So many people are watching or paying attention to it or playing it, and it's a really fun time.
What channel is it going to be streamed on? Is it Twitch Rivals that it's going to be streamed on?
Twitch Rivals channel, yeah.
Twitch Rivals _JP.
Dang. Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, because that's pretty big, right? Because all the other ones have always been streamed on Maximilian's channel. So it looks
also pretty big. But
well, that's what I mean. Yeah. That's why I was wondering if they're gonna have. I just was surprised that they're putting on their own official channel, but it's the Japanese one. Which, Anyways, I'll probably be trying to restream it as well. So you've got a lot of options. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be restreaming this thing.
I imagine they will. All right, cool. All good?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's move on.
All right, so take a break. We will bring on Skisonic. We'll be back with that in just a few minutes.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Tuesday show. Time for our weekly interview, and we have with us today none other than our good friend, Mr. Skisonic. How are you doing, sir?
Hey.
I'm good. James, you're the only person that always calls me Mr. Skisonic. It feels like, Mr. Skisonic's my dad, but, totally.
Have I said that multiple? Have I called you Mr. Skisonic more times than just that? Okay.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You know, if I ever meet your dad, I'm going to call him Mr. Skisonic.
That would be hilarious. Also, you call everybody Mr. That's your thing. That's James's thing.
I guess so. I never even thought about that, but you're right.
Absolutely, it is.
I do call everybody Mr. You're right. Okay.
Absolutely. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, dude. You're looking good out there. How are you this fine evening?
Good. Things are good. Good time to be alive. Fun things happened this week. Repping my Big E shirt here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a world champ now, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't watch WWE, but I read that on Twitter, and I knew this was like a long time coming. Like,
yeah.
So I don't watch it, but I kind of keep checking on it and everything, keep tabs on it. And like, if you're like one of the in the know people, you've known that this was coming for like a few years in the pipeline. So it's awesome to see it now, even though it's obviously just AEW's popping, so they're trying to come back at him. But I digress.
But I mean, wasn't it at one point he did become champion, but then he was only champion for like less than 24 hours or some weird crap or something like that? I don't even remember now.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Remember when I talked about how storylines in wrestling suck? This is getting real FG or fighting game storylines.
No. I was trying to start an interview, but now you've ended it. He's about to walk off.
So, Skisonic, talk to us about how you got into the fighting game community. Like, what was it that drew you in to the fighting game community?
Yeah, seriously. I do think that is something I want to hear about. How did you get started taking fighting games seriously in a competitive sort of way?
When I was like a teenager, I started I always like kind of knew that I really enjoyed Street Fighter from like just going to arcades with my brother, seeing that my older brother like enjoyed it. It was like this line, it was one-on-one, it was just like it was just the coolest looking thing. So fast forward to this time when I'm like 12 or 13, right? I have a neighborhood friend who like is like he's like 18, I'm like 12 or something, right? And I go to his house and I like mop him in Alpha 1, right? Him and his friend with Guy, right? I don't know if Guy is I don't know anything about Alpha 1. I don't know if Guy was good, but I know that I was just broken. Like pressing dude, so I'm just like chain combo, just like mopping these dudes, right? And then they introduced me to this other guy, Quentin, who was like a tournament champion, East Coast champion, right? He has trophies in his house, right? And like 2000, like back in the day, right? Like
what kind of trophies? Like, are they bowling trophies, golf trophies?
That's the red flag, right? Like, he has these trophies. Yeah. He has these like interviews with himself. He has arcade sticks. He has like every game. He had like a PC engine. He had all the imports, and he was better than us. But he also played Super Akuma or like whatever the cheap character was, and just like beat us down. So I didn't even know how to like pick the character. I would like mess up the code. Anyway. I beat that guy one day, right? And like, I just like felt like, yo, like I really like want to play this. And you find your like little spots of competition around. So like having this in my background, high school, I meet a guy that like goes to the arcade. We just start playing Alpha 3 after school every day. And he actually just took me to NEC one day. Oh. Like he didn't tell me where we were going. He picked me up from work. I was working at a video game store. He picked me up in the afternoon. He was like, "We're going to Philadelphia to play Marvel 2." I was like, "All right, like, sounds dope." Like we had just played like local Marvel 1 tournaments at the mall around, a little bit of Marvel 2 local stuff. We're going to Philly to play this. So it was like amazing, I get there and like, I'm talking to guys and I'm like, "Yo, like this kid Justin Wong, like I think he's gonna win this tournament. Like this kid Arturo Sanchez, he's got this crazy like." Spider-Man.
Arturo Sanchez.
I'm sorry, he had not Spider-Man, he had a Doom. Then there was a Spider-Man player there who was also really good. He got like 4th, right? Anyway, that was my first tournament. Wow. I don't know if we stayed overnight, but that kind of like got me into the thing. And then the last thing I'll say is me and that guy, the guy that took me to NEC, we had a falling out over obviously a girl, right? Yeah, he's like, honestly, that dude was one of the best players. Like, naturally, he would beat me with every single character. Like, I was always number 2 to him, and we were playing Marvel 1 with low tier characters, and he would just come the next day and be doing a new Infinite. Like, he'd come next day doing a new Infinite. He's like going on the internet and finding all this stuff, and I'm like, where are you finding these combos? And he's like, SureYouCan.com, and I'm like, haha. What do you mean, SureYouCan? Like, where are you really getting it from? Like Hadouken.com or whatever? Like where's this stuff coming from? This guy.
Hang on a second, Ski. Your audio is getting a little buzzy right now.
Better or worse?
Better.
Much better.
Better. Yeah.
Me and this guy have a falling out. We were supposed to go to ECC. We were supposed to go to B5 together, actually.
Oh, dang.
And he just like, he didn't go, right? And I had been talking to Viscant online, right? And I was like, yo, like, I'm still coming. He was like, cool. So I went and stayed at his house. And that was like that first year. I went to NEC. I went to ECC by myself. It was the first tournament I drove to by myself. Almost died on the way there multiple times. It's crazy first year. But I mean, after all that, you're here for life.
Yeah. Well, what was it about fighting games? And I guess what still is it about fighting games that keeps you involved in them in terms of like liking to play? Like, what about the gameplay? You have played other games really competitively too. Like, what is it about fighting games that really draws you in?
That they are like there's always like a problem to solve, and there's always like, I mean, it's like what Joe Rogan says about MMA. It's like high stakes puzzle solving, or like what Joseph Gordon-Levitt said. It is this high stakes puzzle solving, this fast paced puzzle solving that's super dynamic, 1-on-1, right? And to me, the gameplay itself has such a like clear like back and forth, like a clear dialogue that feels like a conversation, right? Everybody knows how, you're trying to like send an idea and the other guy doesn't want to listen, right? And that kind of stuff is like thrilling. And for me personally, like it took a while to get to this, but like when I'm playing in a fighting game, like nothing else in the world really exists. If I'm really like locked in, right, I can really, that's like a true escape, and it sounds like cheesy when people like talk about escapes, but really like, you can sit down and grind, play a set with somebody, even with really good netcode, and like everything goes away for a while. No, like your troubles, your fear, like your responsibilities, all that. You can just go away for a minute.
I mean, you almost said fear, but when you play my May, your fear definitely does not go anywhere.
Well,
is that are you giving yourself props or Ski? I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm saying he's fearful when he sees Totsugeki.
I don't understand. I think you gotta workshop that one a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, I'll work on it next time. Okay. The delivery was off.
Okay, so you've been playing these fighting games for a while. Talk about your playing career. Like, how would you describe yourself as a player across the various games that you've played?
Yeah. So I'm from the East Coast. So like, I'm just like a scuffed, like down the line, low.
Your
mic's dying again.
Your mic is.
Bro, do you have like a cat messing with your cord down there or something?
Is it good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me know. It's right here. I can just like kind of deal with it. Anyway,
sure.
What was that question again? Oh, my playing career. I said, so I'm like in this like East Coast lineage of like Eddie Lee to Arturo to Justin to like everybody else that just tried to block it out and like wait until the other guy made mistakes to win, which is bad quality.
I mean, it was East Coast style, right? I mean, for those people who don't know the history, West Coast was always about rushdown, and East Coast was always about being, quote, I don't want to use the word anymore, so just being very defensive and being turtle style. And, one of the fascinating things about that is it was always propagated by the strongest player. The rushdown was propagated by Alex Valle in the West Coast, and the turtle style was propagated by Eddie Lee in the East Coast. So No.
Yeah, so like I came up watching those players play, and though that style was like super logical to me for a while, and you know, I truly feel I truly have Dunning-Kruger with execution, because you cannot tell me that I don't have great execution. I drop every combo. I drop every combo, every single combo. But yo, like seriously, my hand skills are actually super good. Like yo, like I'm actually just not trying hard enough is the thing. So you know, then you got like Bucktooth was like the next kind of Bucktooth, Viscount, those like really like thoughtful players. That style, that class of player really influenced me as I started to learn like later games like Capcom vs SNK2, Street Fighter 4. The way that they thought about games really influenced me, which is why I was able to amuse myself playing Fuerte, which kind of gets us back to your original question, right? Like a character like that was just like an ever expanding puzzle to solve. And that's really partially probably the thing about low tiers, why low tier heroes exist. You know, like you really feel like you're trying to like get this Rubik's Cube, just like a couple more spins, you know, I'm really going to be able to get it, you know, and then they just gave him EXQ bomb and that was it, you know, and none of that mattered.
Don't remind me.
Time to party. That character was so fun. Talk about the scene that like you are from in the narrower context. So you're talking about the East Coast, which is a really big area, and I know that you did play. I mean, I lived on the East Coast too. I know that the scenes intermixed a little bit, but like talk more about like the Maryland scene and the more of the locals there.
Yeah. So I'm from Baltimore.
Mike.
I literally didn't even touch it.
Yeah, well.
Okay. So I'm from Baltimore, and I came up playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in tournaments. And, you know, you have kind of like cliques within scenes that develop.
Oh, yeah.
And so my clique was like me or myself, Isaac Graham, the MSP player that people might know, the guy Frody, who people might know because he's the reason why Dark Prince Kronos had a real pretty smile. Some deep lore right there. You want to look into that.
All right.
Yeah. And then Asian Daisy, we had like another really strong Magneto player, you know, 3 or 4 people good enough to get you going. So we were the Marvel players. Isaac kind of rose to prominence out of us and did some things on the national scene. You can find videos of him on Preppy. But then the CVS 2 scene, it's like myself, Brugal B, Baltimore Chun, and Steve H, right? And these are they used to call us like the 3 Bears. James Page, Rugal B, and myself. The New York players used to call us the 3 Bears behind our backs. Like, you know, you'd find a way to but like, you know, I guess I was the mama bear, you know, like we were just 3 dudes with, you know, long hair.
Okay.
Right. Similar looking. I mean, we look like we could be family. Okay. Granted. And so we at different times would kind of like do well in tournaments. Never me, always them. But I'm like the dude that they would come and bring their stuff and train against, and I would like break it and then tell them why it sucks.
Okay.
So James Page, yeah, I'm the breaker. I will mash out of all of your stuff.
Dude,
so,
people don't understand how important that role is. You know, you might not be the best tournament player, but as someone who can play all the characters and break things that they try to do, that's a really, really useful teammate / friend to have in fighting games.
Big up the heroic legacy.
Right, exactly.
Right,
he and I, man, he is just like a much better version of myself. And
who did you say, Tubo? I didn't hear.
He will not be named. He would not want me to mention him
yeah.
twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
If people caught it, they caught it.
Okay.
Yeah. If you know, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like the role that I played. Baltimore Chun did very well early on in Capcom versus SNK2. Rule B did well in the middle. Steve H did well towards the end. But then at the last Evo, I did the best out of everybody. So officially, I'm the best. Never playing
Officially.
CVS2 again. The fly cash out of my face. I'm never touching it again. I'm top 16 for life. That's it. Nobody can ever take that from me. I'm never touching CVS2 again.
You've gone out on top.
Don't add me.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that.
The mic is starting to get a little wonky again.
Yeah.
A little fuzzy.
So, let me ask, is it okay if we move on to the next chapter here? So I feel like, I don't know, this might even be jumping a little too far ahead here, but, you started doing a lot more like content kind of stuff. You were doing Alphaism Radio and stuff, but I mean, from there, it kind of moved on to you and Keats really kind of forming a relationship. And you guys not only did like the Wake Up SRK, you guys were also the first commentators in the FGC. Honestly, you guys are like the first commentators. So, talk to me how that kind of came about and such.
I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna just sit here. It's gonna look awkward, but I'm not gonna move an inch. All right. So, yeah, I met Keats through just kind of the online interactions of Shoryuken at the time, but we actually started conversing over Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Our conversations were over this format that we made called All Brawl. Before anybody else made All Brawl, we did, and we were making this items format for the game, right? And, that was kind of what we connected over and bonded over. We would kind of come back to each other every couple of days and say, oh, I thought about the rule set a little bit more. I think it could use this. I think it could use this. I think these are okay. I think even these are okay. And then at one point, like at the end, when it was over, I was like, I realized that it's everything. Everything's okay. Just turn it all on. Because he set the format of like 3 out of 5 games, and they were like 3-minute games. So it was really fast and it had kind of like a different feel. And I was like, look, you just got to turn everything on, and then the items will balance themselves out. Like, you don't have to worry about really anything if you just leave everything on. But when you start turning stuff off, you will actually run into more problems. And I was like, if you just leave everything on, it's going to be fine. And that was our format for a while. It went fine. Keats became like the Shoryuken writer dude. I started doing Alphaism because somebody else, Bunke, was doing it, and I was just somebody that was around and really knowledgeable and can clearly talk for like a long time. I had a lot of connections to bring people onto the show just because I knew a lot of players. So these things just kind of came together at the right time for there to be commentary at Evo. Keats was the guy, and Keats had known me from doing podcasts, and as well, we had this relationship. So he brought me on as like one of the first commentators. We did a lot of it for that first Evo.
Yeah.
A whole lot. And that Evo is like lost. It was like mostly on Stick AM.
What Evo was that? Which year?
That would have been 2009.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to say too. Yeah.
Well, I can say that you guys were on Evo 2008 for CBS too, and that was what made me want to commentate. So
there you go. 2008 it
3
is.
hits for the win, John Choi. That's a Skisonic call right there.
So you were one of the pioneers when it comes to commentary, and not even really just for FGC commentary. Like, esports commentary had existed in some other ways, at least in some parts of the world for a little while, but like not even for that many years, honestly, in 2008. How was it to be in that role? Like, how did you approach trying to do that?
I just started studying commentary like hard body. Somebody in the chat room said, oh, tasteless narcosis are the gold standard of video game commentary. So I started watching StarCraft. I'd played maybe a couple of hours of StarCraft at that point. It was like Omega Scrub. But I just started watching GSL all the time, and there was so much StarCraft 2 specifically at the time. And it was like the perfect time to watch it. It was like brand new.
Right.
Just popping, man. So I learned StarCraft 2 just by watching it. Like I couldn't play it really, but when I was watching StarCraft 2, I could follow like every beat, just kind of trying to get a vibe for what people enjoyed in video game commentary. And the game's so different that there's not like a lot of specific things that I could take from them, but just like they had a vibe that they created. People love it, and just they kind of showed me what you could do, the kind of freedom that you could have. That's really like the best thing about Tasteless and Artosis, just the first 5 minutes of a lot of those games are just them like talking about what Genesis games they love. Yeah. And that's always just something that I'm going to remember, try to bring out that kind of energy, whenever there's some time.
Yeah, for me, they were a big influence as well. And I knew that you were big into StarCraft, but I did not realize that you got into it for commentary. So you were really like being active about trying to learn and improve, which, to be honest, is not like a super common trait among commentators. But you were doing that early. Do you feel like that's something that you figured out, like how to approach like the sort of like I don't mean how to commentate. I mean like how to learn how to commentate.
I always wanted to do something like that ever since just watching pro wrestling as a kid. I was just like a big fan of Mike Tenay because he was the professor. And him being the professor, he just knew the names of every move, right? He was the one dude that will always be able to call every single move. And he wasn't the most popular of the commentators. He was like the least popular of the ones that were like on the popular shows. But that was his thing. He was the professor. And I just thought that was so freaking cool. That always stuck with me. And so just when I went to Evo and saw that even anybody was doing like loudspeaker commentary, I always wanted to do it just because I was like, yo, like it just looks just like so much fun. It just looks like this thing that I had really always wanted to try, and this was it in a certain form. And it developed into like pretty much exactly that. But I just wanted to get on the mic and talk about the video games because I loved the video games and talking about the video games.
Yeah. That's always one of the key factors of commentary is, loving the game that you're commentating.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of things.
Go on.
I've done like a lot of like little things to try to improve myself, and I feel like they have paid off in various ways. Even if they're not like direct, I think just spending time thinking about how I want to think about and how I want to talk about the game has led me to like a lot of realizations. And I mean, it's certainly affected the way that I view anything now. Like I can't not think about the commentary for anything. Literally anything. It's actually a curse. So
the mic is dying again.
Yeah.
Also. Do you feel like you were such an early commentary pioneer. Since then, various generations basically of commentators have come and gone. I mean, I come after you, and so does James in that respect. And I'm wondering if you see an influence on other people who have come after you. Like, do you feel like you have had an influence on that?
I think some people. How do I sound?
Good.
Some people have told me that, and like Brock just now, right? A few people have told me that directly, and for those, I'm especially honored. Otherwise, here and there, just because there are things that I might have said first, right? Or like early on, or like a way that something was referred to that either like hung around or sort of like influence a certain way of speaking or a way of calling things. But I don't personally feel like anything that I've done has influenced anybody directly, but I do know that like people tell me that just like seeing me there, right, like made them want to be able to do it, made them think that they could do it. And I think that like I've always felt just like the everyman commentator, right? I mean, I know games pretty well, but most people don't know that I got an Evo top 8 and it's for a game that had like 164 people, right? And it's not a huge deal.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom, by the way. So
yeah. So I think that if anything, I just show people that like if you really, really like it and really try, and you're also extremely lucky and live in the right place. Yeah. But like you can at least get on the mic. You can at least get on the mic and talk about games somewhere, and whatever comes after that is going to come.
I mean, you had a big impact on me because there just weren't that many people who were doing it. So I listened to the people who were, and it was a short list, and like you were there. And so I do feel like your style of like breaking things down had a big impact on how I then did. But I also was big time influenced by Tasteless and Artosis, especially. So I hearing that influenced you as well makes total sense as far as like lineages go in my mind.
I mean, when I was doing the Evo DVD trailers a long time ago, there was the one where Bucktooth does the crazy Morrigan stuff, and that's you doing commentary on that clip, and that was always like one of my favorite parts of that trailer because the way that you said it was so lyrical and it just like fit in the moment like so well. Well, which side is he on? That whole line there, like it was so musical and it fit with that moment in the trailer so well. So yeah, for sure.
I'm so glad that you told me that because I stole that line from that guy that I was talking about that we had the falling out over. I stole that, like I jacked that line straight up from him. But not in the way that he didn't deliver it in the way that I delivered it, and it's really like a lot about
it's all in the delivery, honestly.
Yeah,
otherwise it's just words, right? That you stole in game.
I mean, hey, look.
The microphone.
I'm doing it pretty well.
So the mic is getting a little janky again, but I mean, I also want to take the opportunity to say that someone asked us what some of our favorite commentary moments were, and one of my highlights has always been when you and I did the Vi Bonchan match in Street Fighter 4. That one I felt like was always an excellent match, and one of the ones that I just every time I go back and watch it, like it just I don't know, the whole thing about it just like felt really, really good. So
oh man, you killed that. You carried me on that. That was awesome, dude. That was one of your best calls.
Oh man, well thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, talk to me about how things are going right now. I see the clock's on 0, but we've not been able to have as much time as usual because we've been fixing the mic. So let's
I kind of
put a couple minutes on there.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to say, like, you kind of moved on to making games a little bit, or at least learning making games and stuff like that at this point.
Yeah, I did go to NYU for game design school. I got the Evo scholarship. It was cool. It was cool. It was a good experience. I learned a lot, and the game industry is like something else, right? So I since that time, I'm like just now getting my name on like a very professional credit, and something that's coming out like in the near future. But it has nothing to do with fighting games at all. But it is actually incredibly awesome. But that's all I'll say about that.
That's so cool.
But
come on, tell us what it is right now. Ultra Chen TV exclusive. No, just kidding. You don't have to say.
NDA coward.
No, you don't have to say anything. Don't say anything.
I could technically say it because the game has been announced, but
no, it's okay. Don't want to get you in trouble, dude. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
But what I can say is that I did learn a lot about making games. I have made games like indie games. I've made a couple of fighting games. I made this like bullet hell fighting game that I did like a majority of the design for that one. And that was just something experimental, something we were playing with fighting game mechanics. Another one we made like this straight up Super Turbo clone. So I was going into Super Turbo frame data, learning about like the choices that were made in that game from the other way. So there was like a couple of really interesting fighting game experiences I had. But as far as like doing it professionally, it's still potentially in the cards. But happily right now, I at least just have some other mild 9 to 5 sucker day job. That's it's pretty great.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Oh man.
Well, you're playing a lot of Strive, right? I mean, I've seen you talking about that. Tell me what you think about Guilty Gear Strive. You played a lot of games over the years. So what's this one like?
Let me replug my mic before I say this.
Okay.
I'm so glad you asked because honestly, I feel almost literally the same way that Sonic Fox feels. Now, I'm not like a bandwagoner, right? And the days that he said those things, I was like, "Oh, this kid is like reading my mind."
Hang on a second.
I've been on the same.
Your mic blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's just everything feels like a sledgehammer, right? And it's tough to feel like you're doing anything cool. Feel like there's no slickness to the game. And I feel like that's like the hallmark of Guilty Gear. And I would use the word finesse, except Sonic Fox already used it, but that's literally the word that I was thinking along with slickness. Those are just like the kind of things that the game lacks for me. And honestly, I think that is like embodied by Giovanna, who, in my opinion, is the worst. I'm a Giovanna player, by the way. Worst Guilty Gear character to ever be designed. It's such an insult to Guilty Gear players that this is in the game because somebody's gonna play it. I play it.
You play it,
and I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I feel bad.
So what is it? What is it about it that does that you think makes her the worst Guilty Gear character ever?
She's super linear, super straightforward, and the hits that you get don't feel satisfying. It doesn't feel like you really outplayed anybody. I know that there's Giovanna players out there, probably one in particular that's like, oh, maybe like you did not outplay them because you suck. Hey, guess what? That's part of the point. Yo, Giovanna did 2D full screen. I did Jump HS with Gold Lewis and I got hit. Get that shit out of here. It makes no sense. She's just like, but it's like playing Paradise. Like, you're just pressing, and it just everything works. And it kind of like embodies like what a lot of the core gameplay of the game is for, various characters. This is a lot of just like straightforward button stagger frame trap / super obvious throw mix up that it's a bad idea to try to do anything against anyway and do the same thing again. But I mean, I think it's cool. Like, it's almost there. Netcode's great.
What a plug. Yeah, I mean, she's just Cammy, right? It's not like a brand new idea on a character.
Yo,
except that her drill is plus, which has never been the case for Cammy.
Cammy doesn't have dash 5S that's like close or far, and just like you can close your eyes, do that, and then start the party.
I don't know. I kind of feel like she's 92% the same character. Anyway,
no.
So if it's the case that
5-5 matchup here, no, it's okay.
If it's the case that you're not enthralled with the game, you've been playing it a lot though. Like, what's the deal?
It has good netcode.
Okay.
I like to solve puzzles, man. Like I said, it's like now I'm playing Gold Lewis, and I can't. Like I said, I have really good execution, except I can't do half circles apparently. So Gold Lewis is just this struggle for me, and it's fun in a masochistic way.
Well, I guess
I don't know,
see
man.
that.
I don't know, man. I don't even know why. I don't know. Sometimes I think about that. I'm just like, why? I've been playing less recently. I can say that, but there is still a lot of enjoyment I get out of just like, you know, playing Gold Lewis. I don't really have fun playing Giovanna, so I just pretty much stopped playing her. But I have fun watching the game, commentating the game, learning the game, and right now Gold Lewis. And I think I'll probably have fun with Jacko, and I haven't even tried the character yet. I've been so busy just swinging the coffin. So you know, there's a lot there for me to like.
Is that who you're gonna use, Gold Lewis, to body everybody at the Commentator Cup?
Man, you better pick Gio and get to work.
He's right. He's right.
Hey, don't hurt our chances to get a Gold Lewis in this tournament here.
Sajam's in the tournament too, buddy.
Yeah, I'm probably just. I don't think I got the skills for Gold Lewis, man. I'm not. It's not working.
Well, you're going to be in the Commentator Cup. That's going to be cool. Looking forward to seeing that. You're also doing commentary locally, right? Where can people watch that? I'm
on Xanadu Games. I'm there like a couple of weeks out of the month, and as well as the monthlies. So that's going to be on twitch.tv/VG Bootcamp 2 or just VG Bootcamp, depending on what's going on those streams. And the weeklies are on Thursdays. I'll be there this Thursday most likely, but the monthly is this month or this week, this Saturday. So I will definitely be there.
And where can people follow you directly at all the social medias?
Oh, it's just Skisonic everywhere, except Reddit because somebody stole it there a long time ago. It's so weird. So weird. He stole it while I was on the stage at Evo. Anyway, yeah, but everywhere else, just Skisonic, Twitter, Skisonic, Instagram, Skisonic.
Well, let me ask you the question that I ask everybody. Where did Skisonic come from? Like, it is such an unusual name. I can't believe someone stole it, but I guess they stole it because they saw you. But like, where does Skisonic come from?
So the quick version of this is I had a friend that used to steal AOL accounts all the time, and he liked to ski, right? He was like tapped in with that like seedy underground AOL underbelly. So he would get these accounts and hook me up because I was too poor to have internet. And also my mom just said no. So he would like get these like throwaways and be like ski square, right? Because he's a square soft, like ski whatever, right? So one day he was like, okay, I'm going to make you one. And I'm just like, well, just put Sonic in it, right? And he just put Skisonic. He liked to ski and snowboard. I've never been skiing in my life. But I was just like, oh yeah, Sonic. You know, Sonic's fast. I'm fast. Put Sonic in it. So that's where Skisonic came from. The IRC was too short for me to put anything else.
Dude, I would have never guessed that the ski in Skisonic was actually named after like skiing.
I've heard that story many times, and it's still one of my favorite stories on account of like just how completely random it is.
Yeah,
no rhyme and
random name generator for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, dude. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Sorry about the mic stuff.
Oh, dude, it's all good.
No
It's all
worries.
good, man. It's just the nature of doing this online stuff. Audio is the worst part. So
Streaming is a blow up.
Cool to hang out with you regardless.
yeah, for sure. Hopefully we'll be able to
Likewise.
see each other again. I think the last time I saw you was CEO Daytona, right? I think that was the last time I saw you, right?
I think that's the last time we actually got to like say a word to each other.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Ugh, man.
A couple of years, you know, it'll happen.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
See you guys later.
Later.
Shout out to
All
Ski
right.
jumping
One of my
in
good
on
buds
here.
in the FGC for sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next thing over here. And that, of course, is going to be the 5-5 matchup. And we have 4 questions What does that expression mean, Tubo? Are we doing something wrong?
Okay. We're moving on.
We have a 5-5 matchup. I am going to slowly set up the poll while David reads the
Number 1,
questions.
Should player opinions have a formal and official role in the balance patch process for fighting games? If so, how would you like to see a company involve players in deciding balance changes? 2, you have a monkey paw that has the power to give any fighting game rollback netcode, but it also does something horrible to the game. Which game would you use it on, and what would be the horrible consequence? 3, do you think there's even the slightest possibility that fighting games won't have a bright future from this point onward? From so many good game releases to rollback becoming normalized, I feel like this is the true golden age and that things will never go back. 4, which fighting game archetype do you kick out of the hypothetical main roster? Do you believe that there are archetypes that are better suited to be available from the start rather than added later? So there you go. There are our 4 topics. Do you have the poll set up?
The poll is set up. Exclamation mark. 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Let me know.
And remember, if you're a sub to the channel, and it is September.
Wait a second.
So those are discounted. If you're a sub to the channel, you get 2 votes.
Does that count? Can you vote for the same thing twice with your 2 votes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see why not.
Absolutely. You get 2 votes.
I thought that. Oh, I always just thought
You
of
stack
it
them
like
however
you
you
have
want.
to use it for 2 different ones.
It's not ranked choice voting.
Yeah, you stack them however you want.
Yeah. Well, put them in there. We're going to give you a little bit of time to think about this as you see the topics up on your screen, but not too long. So hurry up.
All right. Well, so
Hurry up,
far
Dave.
there are definitely 2 clear winners, although one of them is now catching up. One of them has taken a more substantial lead, and one of them is falling behind a little bit.
What do you say we cut it off in like 5 seconds?
Well, you got to give a countdown then.
All right.
5, 4,
5,
3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. Closed. The winners are number 2 and number 1. Number 2 and number 1. So we start with number 2. And I am going to paste this in here. What is that little evil cackle?
David's just giggling in the background, just cackling.
What is this cackling here? Because I mean,
That's what I start every morning with.
Evil cackling?
You have a monkey paw that has the
Number
power
2.
to give any fighting game rollback netcode, but also does something horrible to the game. Which game would you use it on, and what would be the horrible consequence?
David?
I'm trying to think about which games I think I would want to give rollback netcode to that I would also be okay with having something terrible happen to. I feel like there's not a lot of crossover there.
I mean,
I would
like,
love to
how
see...
bad does the terrible have to be, right?
That's
the
all up to you,
question.
buddy. That's all in your
Right.
mind.
Kick, yeah. It's all in my mind. Kick, punch. It's all in the
Those
mind.
Parappa memes have been killing me.
Dude, the Parappa. Dude, have you seen... Oh, dang, check out Lord Gandalf
Yo.
here.
Hey,
with
thanks for the big
10
10.
gift subs.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
so
Lord
much.
Gandalf.
Thanks for the
Dang,
big time.
I hope you're
Much
doing good out
appreciated.
there. I hope things are all right.
Yeah.
We'll get back to playing games at some point.
Did you
Well,
see the...
I
did
can
you-
say this. The timer's not running. 1. 2.
Oh, yeah.
2.
Did you see that meme where he was put into... God, what is that? That crazy, like, violent game, and, like, they beat him up
Tron.
and stuff.
Talking about Tron.
Half-Life. It was Half-Life 2.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
But Half-Life's not super violent. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's
All right.
moderately violent.
Anyways, go ahead.
Anyways, what you guys don't know while you're sitting there trying to figure out literally any video game in the past 10 years you can pick right now, by the way, what you guys didn't know is that I already placed my monkey paw. I have the monkey paw. All the wishes have been used. The final wish was to put rollback netcode into Guilty Gear Strive. And my horrible thing that happened to it was communicating with servers and the lobbies.
Yep, it did happen. It actually happened.
It happened in real life, guys. It's already happened.
That's actually
already
a great
happened.
point. It's already real.
Yeah, this is literally what happened to us. But also, there's Marvel 3,
Yeah.
there's Street Fighter 4, there's any of the Blaze Blues.
Right,
There has to be a
Blaze
game
Blue.
you guys would do
Look,
this for.
I mean, look, again, like I'd love to see Blaze Blue with Rollback. I'd love to see Marvel 3, SF4, I guess. Other people would care about that. Like there are a lot of games that I think would be great to have Rollback, of course. But then also, what am I cool with ruining about that game? Because the reason that I want those games to have Rollback is because I like the games, but now I have to make the games bad? That's a bummer.
You're telling me that if like your favorite version of Blaze Blue got Guilty Gear Strive Rollback, but the same shitty lobbies, you wouldn't play it? You would
No,
play
I guess
it.
I'm
Just
thinking
go with
about
that. Just
what
go
I'm
with
thinking about
that.
is like the game itself has to get worse. Okay, fine, yeah.
That is
So,
the video. That's a video game. It's a whole package here.
Marvel 3 has rollback netcode, but you can only play it every second Thursday. That's it. And other than that, the lobbies aren't
Every
up.
second thing.
Hell?
Every second
that's
Thursday is when you can
terrible.
play.
That's
I know.
Marvel
That's
Night.
you can only play
That's
it once
Marvel
a
Night.
month. Once
That's
a
Marvel
month.
Night, dude.
That's Marvel Night.
Twice a month, Marvel Night.
America joins in for Marvel Night once every second Tuesday.
See,
I mean, I would
I'm
play
like-
it.
like-
Marvel Night would be sick. I'd be in
Marvel
there.
Night would be sick, to be honest. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I keep thinking of like, my problem is like I'm monkey's pawing it in like many different ways, right? Like, for example, you know, I could say like, oh, hey, Melee should get rollback netcode, which it already did. So, I mean, it wouldn't be an official example, but I could say you would get that game, but for some reason Fox and Falco aren't playable anymore. And like that would be horrible to a lot of other people, but I think I might enjoy that more. Long live Jigglypuff, let's go.
You get updated Melee with rollback, but Nintendo will not let you stream that game. It cannot be streamed
That
anymore.
is definitely a
The
monkey's
rights
paw
holders came to
rule.
roost. Oh no.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
that kind of
definitely worse than every second Thursday.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking, like, if I really wanted to give rollback netcode to something, I mean, it would be something like Marvel 3 or Marvel 2, probably, just because I feel like those
Hey,
games...
Marvel 2 has rollback netcode on 360 and PS3.
Does
Just
it?
good luck getting the game. You can't download it.
Oh.
Was the netcode really good on those?
It is good. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, dang, I didn't know.
People still
Okay.
play it. Ruin streams it on his 360 and PS3 sometimes. He like plays other people who still play it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then I
But yeah,
will go
the
with
netcode on that was
MVC3 because a lot of games have a lot of emulation solved problems, solved ways to do it, but Marvel 3 does not. So I probably would pick Marvel 3. So I would pick Marvel 3, but you can only play it every second Monday. No, I'm just kidding. What would be the downside that I would give to the game? What would be the downside that I would give to Marvel 3? Oh man, this is a tough one. All right, here's the downside right here. Marvel 3 gets rollback netcode, but now Phoenix only needs 3 out of 5 bars to go into Dark Phoenix mode. So I have just ruined the game completely. But you know, people could ban her.
You could just soft ban her. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is there's
We
an
don't do
out.
that in Marvel.
You don't
There's
do
an
that.
out.
Yeah.
We don't do that in Marvel. We just accept it.
There you go. That's my negative side. Or what Shan-Chi says in the chat, you know, Dark Phoenix doesn't have less health. She just has regular health.
BB Tag gets rollback, but everybody has to play a grappler on their team. Tager's on every single team.
Ew.
Yeah, that would be sick. Man, Tager's so cool and not super great in that game. All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Yep, that's question number 1. Should player opinions have a formal and official role in the balance patch process for fighting games? If so, how would you like to see a company involve players in deciding balance change?
Well, I will say that most, or at least many, developers do this.
You said
It's
doo doo.
mostly... Number 2. This is question number 2. They do this. It's just not like in a big public way, but most of them hire players to test things out, or at least to like get their opinions on it, at least pre-release, if not after release. And that's been happening for forever, as far as I know. Yeah,
literally ever.
Yeah, since the first ones. So that has happened, but after launch, it's much less. And again, I mean, even you may be thinking of like the people who are the current top players, but like, there's also people who come in house and no longer enter tournaments. Combo Fiend worked in Capcom. Washige is on SF5. Like there's plenty of examples of that in NRS games and whatever, like Arxis, like all sorts of stuff does that and has been doing that. So rather than those players continuing to be like top level competitors and placing in tournaments, they're still really good, but they're just like in-house instead. And they are actually like contributing to how balance and testing work.
Yeah. I mean, you basically stole my answer, David, is that this already happens. And maybe people don't know about it, but it certainly already happens. I mean...
Yeah.
But I think there is a more interesting question, which is after launch.
It still happens.
It's much less... Well, I guess...
After launch, they just listen to the community more so than like a small group of testers.
Yeah.
And also, most of the people internal that work on these games play these games. Like they still have these discussions internally as well. So yeah, I mean, I think this just already happens. Like characters don't get nerfed on their own. If everybody thinks a top tier character is fine, they usually don't get touched that much, right? Like that's not by coincidence. It's because the developers are listening to the issues that people have usually,
I mean, clearly everybody was complaining that Leo had trouble opening people up in Guilty Gear Strive, so they gave him the dash cancel on the standing.
Let's not talk about that.
I mean, I don't think that this means that they're always right in their decision making.
Right, of course. But I mean, a lot of it too. I mean, I again, for me, it's about sticking to a vision and really understanding your own game, because I really feel like with Street Fighter V, the last couple of seasons, I really feel like they've just been kind of doing their own thing, not even necessarily listening to people. And they've been doing a great job because they understand their own game now. Like, I feel like they understand their own game really, really well. Remember, Street Fighter Season 1 is just nothing but a result of listening to people complaining about things, right? Like, that's literally what Street Fighter Season 1 was. And it was kind of a mess. And a lot of the things didn't gel together. So I'd rather just have people have that kind of vision and really understand it. Yeah, you're going to take into account what people say and complain about and stuff. But, also, make sure that, like I said, you understand your own game. You know how to make your own character strong. And, it's the whole kind of thing. I always also use the Super Street Fighter, for example, when they nerfed Gen and they barely buffed, quote, barely, unquote, buffed Guile. And everybody was super mad. And then it turned out that they were doing the right things and people just didn't know, right? And Seth still says that Jill got nerfed in Marvel 3 because people didn't know the broken shit that she really had in vanilla.
I know the secrets, and I will not reveal them.
Really?
I really do. I'm not even kidding. I really actually know, and I'm not saying shit.
Dang, okay.
Thanks for bringing it up, buddy.
Yep, I want everyone. I just blue balled the entire show. Hold that.
Yeah, well, no one has to believe you, so there you go.
That's fine. Yeah, they can choose it. I guess make it up.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I guess to my mind, the more interesting question is should competitive tournament players have some stake in how their characters turn out?
Nah.
No.
I used to think that there should be something like that because in my mind it used to be the case that fighting game devs balanced more haphazardly.
Yes.
And things would come out weirdly, like a lot of the time. And that was true like across the devs. Like every dev was just making decisions that I was like, why? I feel like that's a lot less common.
Street Fighter 4 AE.
Totally. SF4 AE, but also like all the games that I play. Like
right.
the earlier the early 2 NRS games were like that a lot, and even like early MKX was like that a lot. And I wasn't a Gear player, but I've heard tell that Guilty Gear players weren't happy oftentimes with how things changed in their games. Like that's just how it was. I feel like in a lot of the cases, and I don't really feel that way for the most part now.
Yeah.
So I no longer really feel that way. I mean, it was never the case that I thought that you should ask the top players, what should we change, and then do it, because that's just not a good idea.
Ooh, no,
there are a
it's a
lot of
terrible
players who are
idea.
great at playing video games who are just morons when it comes to thinking about like bigger questions about how balance should work and like what should be fun and what could be fun. Yeah, like there's just that would not be a productive conversation. But if you have the world's greatest player of X character and they wake up tomorrow and their character died, that is a bad feeling. And that sucks. And it used to kind of be like that more often. Yeah. So back then I did kind of feel like maybe they should have a stake, but with better balancing, no longer seems like as pressing an issue.
And I was just about to say, you could do the opposite. Ask a bunch of top players what they think of their characters, have them all tell you that they hate the way that they turned out, but then keep them that way anyway. So like, that's definitely a decision you can make.
An option that has been made in the past. That is a thing
that's happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any case.
All right, moving on.
To say about this one? Yeah, okay. All right, we're moving on up to the east side. Here we go. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid news.
There are a few things to talk about when it comes to Power Rangers. Let's first talk about the fact that there was the Battle for the Grid League finale. That happened. It was won by Skills That Kills. Congratulations. That's cool. Crescent Chimera got 2nd place. Mega Isaac X got 3rd place. There's a whole top 8 for it. They had been playing it out, the league that is, for quite a while.
Ever. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember the Frosty Faustings that I went to. That was the Dacid Bro crazy airport travel nightmare that he had to get there, and he ended up winning it. But I mean, I don't think he played in this because I don't know if he took himself out, but obviously.
Well, he talked about that when he was on the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He said he kind of just let it rock because it wasn't going to chase the events.
And the pandemic really just kind of.
Yeah, it put a monkey wrench into everything.
For all of them, yeah.
Anyway, that's cool. I hope that was fun for everybody. Congratulations to the winners. And again, really cool that they continue to play out the league and that they're still supporting that. Relatedly, there's season 4 that will be coming out, and we got a view of some of the characters that are going to be coming out. So there was an announcement trailer that showed a bunch of gameplay footage for Adam Park, a little bit of gameplay footage for Poisandra. Was my pronunciation of it? Cool. I'm glad that is correct. And Rita Repulsa just shown as like a screenshot.
Yeah. They're finally adding Rita Repulsa to the game.
You know what I found out today? Is that Power Rangers was not an original American thing. Did you know that?
Everyone knows that. You were the only one that didn't know that, David.
Wait, is David being serious right now?
I didn't know, dude. I mean, maybe I did at some point in the past and have forgotten. That's just as plausible. But one of those two, I definitely, I did not currently have that knowledge in my head. Yeah.
Like literally they made up the whole high school part just to work with all the existing footage that they've already had. They did start filming some new stuff eventually, but like most of it was just all repeat footage from a Japanese Sentai show.
Sorry guys, I didn't know about this. I was too busy hanging out with the cheerleaders.
Nerd.
Not accurate.
The truth is you were just too old for Power Rangers. It wasn't in your age group.
Yeah,
hey, look, if I can say that I'm not too old for Power Rangers, mostly because my experience through Power Rangers was via Investigation Cone in the chat. Like, that's where all of my Power Rangers knowledge came from, so... If I can say I watched it in high school, you're not too old for Power Rangers.
Wow. Okay. Well, talk to me then when you think about Adam Park and Poisandra, who we saw footage of.
Adam looks dope. Poisandra looks weird.
Do they all look pretty busted? Although I will say, like, you know, having messed with the game when it came out early and seeing how Poisandra looks, like she had a lot of good personality. Like she did some stuff and had that little dance, like you know, and stuff. Like the animations clearly are much stronger for these later characters now, and it's cool to see. And so I really appreciated that aspect of Poisandra. She seemed like she had a lot of really cool personality beats.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean the game has gotten better and better and better every season.
Yeah,
It's
and
cool
honestly,
to see that happen.
like looking at that trailer, like the game looks really like clean, like polished right now. It's really nice.
Cool. Check it out if you are interested. Oh, I should say that the season 4 stuff starts coming out September 21st.
Yeah, but shout outs to season 4. Like when this game first came out, how many people thought that there would be a season 4 at this point for this game? We have
the
a
game
season
came out
4.
in a very bad state.
Yeah.
You couldn't block after blocking a jump in. You couldn't block low. Like
right.
There's a lot of real questionable things.
There's a season 4
they stepped
for
up.
this,
They kept working on it. It's
and
awesome.
a season 1 for Skullgirls. What timeline do we live in right now?
Pretty cool.
Timeline where fighting games with good netcode don't die.
Yeah, actually.
Right, let's talk about the next one with that in mind.
Really, really good point.
Ultra Fight Da Kyanta 2 has DLC coming out, dude. Let's talk about DLC for this game. They have, first of all, an amazing trailer for Dr. K. It's such like a fever dream, hilarious trailer. I see your skepticism over there, Brock. I see your eyes.
I just haven't seen it, man.
I know.
I saw.
You will find it hilarious.
You had it linked in the doc. The description was literally the best trailer ever, and I was like, all right. So I clicked it. It's pretty good. It's pretty
great.
Pretty
I mean,
great.
that game is real wild. I've played it a couple of times and it's fun, but it's just like real zany. And the new character is very in keeping with that too. Dr. K, check it out. Also announced will be new features, including rollback. This will be a rollback edition, so there will be rollback for Ultra Fight Kyanta 2.
Another victory for Rollbackia.
Yeah, dude. It's so great to see. Like the fact that Japan is really starting to grasp onto the importance of rollback as well. Again, shout outs to all the people who filled out all of those ArcSys, surveys and stuff like that. Sure, we got Monkey's Pod into the lobbies, but we got our rollback, so it's all good.
Good enough for now.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one then. So,
honestly, if you guys have never heard of Ultra Fight Da Kyanta 2, like, this is seriously like the most on crack thing you've ever seen. Like, seriously, fever dream is a good way to describe it. Just like,
yeah,
I mean, like all the sound effects are just done by the creator, and he drew everything himself and stuff, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Okay.
It is a great trailer. Please check it out. All right, moving on. Did you guys watch any of the PlayStation Showcase that happened last week?
I watched every bit of it.
Yep. Okay. What about you, James?
I watched absolutely none of it. However, I did go later on and watch some of the trailers, so I've seen some of the trailers for stuff.
James, did you know that they've shown more footage of the cat game?
Did they?
Not at this one, but at the last showcase they did. Yeah.
Really? I didn't see that.
Oh, you mean a while ago?
Yeah, a little while, like a couple months ago, probably.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did I see that? I might have seen that actually. No, I did see that. I did.
Yeah, they laid out like the whole world, and there's robots.
Yeah. I did see that. I'm super excited still. So.
Yeah, I would definitely want to play the cat game.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 coming out in 2023. God of War Ragnarok delayed until 2022.
Expected.
List of a few of the games. Wolverine. You're excited? I'm excited about that. Seems like it'll should be cool.
Made by the Spider-Man team. It's going to be great.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
So I have never played Knights of the Old Republic, but everybody has told me, especially one of my best friends who's the big Star Wars nerd, it's like he says it's just like one of the best ones out there. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So
absolutely one of the best RPGs, but it aged very poorly.
Right. So
it aged very poorly.
And it's weird. It feels like
I never played it either, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's weird. I feel like that we've kind of reached this weird point in technology that our technology is so good that we're just remaking everything again. And I'm not sure that's good or bad.
Games were remakes or sequels in an established series. You know, that's how things are going right now. But there was also some other stuff that I hadn't seen before. Chia's kind of interesting looking. There's the Kid Amnesia thing that's being made by
that's not even a video game. It's just
I don't even know what to make of that. Yeah,
they're releasing 2 of their albums, and there has like some art gallery to go with it.
Yeah, there's going to be something interactive. Yeah.
If you like Radiohead, you'll love it. I'm sure.
I do, as you know.
You'll love it. Yeah.
I mean, look,
I guess.
I was thinking to myself at one point in time that the technology's probably just gotten so good. One of the reasons why Gran Turismo looks so good back on the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 is because it looks so good for those consoles. And so I was thinking, well, now that we've gotten to the point where everything looks super real, does that kind of take away the magic of Gran Turismo? And no, it does not. That game looks beautiful. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Now, obviously, if you're not a car person, it's whatever. But, like, I can see, again, my Star Wars friend who loved Gran Turismo. He's all about cars, and he's driven his actual Corvette, like, you know, in racetracks and stuff like that, you know, he's probably just like, oh, my God, and super excited about this game because it is really beautiful. Yeah, the cars look a little too clean. Like, it might help to add a little dirt to the things, but holy crap. The detail on that looks super good.
I'm sure they get dirty SA Race.
Deathloop is coming out pretty soon, and that trailer looks cool.
Is out.
It's out today.
It came out today.
Today? You're actually right.
Yeah.
Today
came out today.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway, there's some cool looking stuff out there. I don't have a PS5. I know neither of you guys do. Nope. I don't know what the timeline is for any of us to get one. It's not soon, probably.
No.
I'll get one when Spider-Man's about to come out. I mean,
for me, there's still...
even on top of wanting one, it's like hard to get without just paying.
I don't think it's actually that hard to get one anymore. I think
looked it up and it was still. I went to Amazon.
I don't think you can like walk into Walmart and buy one.
Yeah.
But if you really want one, like all these like bundle things go out, and like if you really want one, you can get one.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not talking about resale. I'm not about retail. I'm talking about retail.
But you're going to be paying more.
How so?
I mean, I haven't seen it just available for sale on like Amazon or whatever.
No, you have to wait in line. You wait in digital line, and then you purchase one. That's what I mean. If you really want one, you can get one.
Okay, so you
can't just walk into Walmart. You can't just hop on a GameStop and no, of course. But
you basically,
if you really want to get one, you can get one right now.
Yeah, you keep your eye out. There's like you keep your eye out on Cheap Ass Gamer or Wario64 on Twitter.
Exactly.
And they throw out, hey, here's this thing. You try to get in there like trying to buy shoes, but I think it's a little bit easier than shoes. My problem is there just still hasn't been a console selling game for me on that thing.
Yeah, that's I said. I'll wait for Spider-Man.
Right, and for me, Spider-Man probably is not going to do it either. So I'll wait a little bit longer. I mean, I quit the last Spider-Man game because the stupid Taskmaster missions pissed me off too much. But yeah, so I just stopped playing it because
Brock is about to walk out of here.
The worst thing about it was
whatever.
You could silver medal on those Taskmaster missions, but then like the gold missions were super hard to do, and I did it flawless, and I still got a silver medal. And people in the chat were like, "You kind of have to beat the game because you get a suit that makes you go faster and stuff like that." And I was like, I don't want to friggin' wait to beat the game to do... Like, you can't put this in front of me and not allow me to gold medal this now. Especially because on the map, when you actually bronze medal it, it marks it as completed on the map. So afterwards, you have no idea which ones you've completed and which ones you haven't.
This is the most James complaint I've ever heard.
Yep.
100%.
But also, we're way past time. Way past
yeah, okay,
100%.
we're moving on.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. We're going to take it down a notch, unfortunately. A fighting game community member, Zerms, has passed away. Jeremy Smith. I don't know the details, but on Twitter it was mentioned that he passed away of an infection. He had been in the hospital for a couple of weeks. He was only 36 or 35. He was born in 85.
Yeah.
So, not an old guy. I mean, younger than a couple of us on this, and a pretty normal age for people in the FGC nowadays. So that's really sad news. Very sorry to hear that. He had been in the Marvel scene, in the Grand Blue scene, and had run events and made content and made memes and
Yeah, big
Dude,
big
I used to
Marvel guy.
see him on Twitter all the time. I'd see his name on Twitter all the time. So.
Twitter, other places, but yeah, he made a lot of Marvel content. So rest in peace, homie.
Again, I mean, we don't know what the cause is. Sickness could be anything. But again, like these past couple of years, I just feel like we've lost so many people in the FGC, and it sucks because it's a lot of. Obviously, we're not at the age yet where people are. If I'm still here, we're not going away from old age. Let's put it that way. So, these is definitely, too soon for so many of these people.
Yep.
So
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
There's a GoFundMe to support his family. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. If you're feeling so inclined, then you can donate there.
definitely tell the people that you love them. So
All right. Sorry to hear about that. Let's go on to the upcoming stuff now. And there are some things coming up. For example, Street Fighter League Season 3 finals between Nasser and Alpha 3 is the 16th, so Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So just in a couple of days.
It just never happened from Season 3, right? And so
Yeah, that's right.
Finally happening here. So before they start Season 4.
Yeah, and speaking of Season 4, the Season 4 JP starts on September 25th, and for US, October 7th. So both of those are starting up pretty soon. We'll talk next week more about what the teams and stuff are, but the teams, especially for the Japan one, are pretty serious looking. Gonna be cool. September 24th, Friday at 5 p.m. is the Commentator Cup. Just as a reminder, everybody, that is an event that we're going to be running on this channel right here, Ultra 10 TV.
Sure do.
And
sure will.
It's going to be all commentators, 16 players playing Guilty Gear Strive. Going to be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to talk about them, and very much looking forward to that. We have a Matcherino for that, and the codes are ready for that. So if you go to matcherino.com/commentatorcupstrive, you can sign in there and please to donate. Or if you don't want to give your own dollars, you know how it works. You guys have used Matcherino before. You can go there and just click on the little coupon thing or follow Twitter accounts as they have on there, and you can effectively donate money that way as well.
And again, as I always show
sponsor quests.
Yeah.
Sponsor quests, they're called.
And as I do in every single tournament that I commentate that has Matcherino, I sign in, I click on the code. Takes me literally like 5 seconds. So obviously you can do that now. You can wait until the actual day, but supporting the winner would be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And lastly, the ICFC First to 10 exhibitions were announced today. They're going to be on Majin Obama's Twitch channel. And starting on September 25th at 11 a.m. Japan time, there's going to be a First to 10 series in both Street Fighter Alpha 3 and also Melty Blood Actress Again current code.
Cool.
So that's cool.
Man. Those players in Japan are crazy. I mean, I remember when 25th anniversary was out and at Southern California Regionals, a bunch of the Japanese players came out there, including the one girl who was like the best ex-Chun player on the planet, basically. And you wouldn't think that Exism had any chance, but she did some massive damage in that. I think she got like 3rd place or something like that. Maki, that's what her name was. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Well, look forward to that. All right, let's get to this final category here. We have made excellent time, it turns out, for the mailbag.
Alrighty, let's do this mailbag here. Sorry, I was not ready for this. Let's do this.
Oh no.
Let's do.
We're looking at Nigel Thornberry and Ren and Stimpy in a fighting game.
Sounds about right to me.
All right. So the first question we have here comes from Drem via Twitter. Would you like the next Street Fighter game to be a new Street Fighter or a new Street Fighter Alpha? I mean, at this point in time, I don't really think there's a distinction unless you count Alpha as like being the only 2D kind of games or something like that. So for me, making it a new Street Fighter game, but specifically, like I said, if I made Street Fighter 6, I would make it a spiritual sequel to Street Fighter 3. So I would like to see a new kind of Street Fighter 3-ish type game for the next Street Fighter.
Well, yeah, what the game is called really doesn't matter. I just hope the next Street Fighter is fun and has good netcode. That's what I hope. I don't know. I'm pretty indifferent on if it's an alpha game or not.
I totally agree. I don't really care about that, whether it's a spiritual successor to one version of Street Fighter or another, or something entirely brand new. Whatever, man. I just want to play something fun that is new. I don't want it to be very much the same to any other Street Fighter. Give me some new stuff to play and have a good time with. That's all.
Okay.
But not anytime soon, because SF5 is really good. So let's keep playing that game.
Super soon. Please, within the next year.
Next question. Marlo0822 via Twitter asks, if there was a Muppets-based fighting game, who would you main, and what would their playstyle be? I'm guessing David's pick would be Sweetums, obviously, big body grappler.
You know, I was reading this question on Twitter as I was writing it down, and before I got to the part where it was like David would probably play, I had already started and stopped and thought, and that was in fact going to be my answer to that question for real. So very nicely done.
Well, I would very obviously play Waldorf and Statler, the ice climber of the game.
Oh no! I was gonna say that was my second choice, but they're not the ice climber. They're the zoners.
It would for sure be the ice climber.
Maybe they're the zoning ice climbers because they're just staying away. They don't want to get involved in the fray themselves. They're just like
but I'm just saying there'll be two characters in one. Absolutely, they're inseparable.
Dude, all that would happen is that they would both be sitting in a booth. And you would move the whole booth, and all of their attacks would be projectiles of them taunting you all day.
That would be super sick.
Yeah, that was gonna be my answer. So Tubo stole my answer. That was how it was.
We're all off the. Well, my second choice would obviously be the French chef.
Swedish chef?
The Swedish
chef. Yeah, sorry, the Swedish chef. French, Swedish. Very different, but in my brain, apparently the same.
I might just have to do.
I've heard Swiss chef before, but never French.
I don't know, man.
Hiroyuki Sakai, Iron Chef French. Is that who you're talking about here? I would.
Anyway, nobody knows what we're talking about. Who's anything under the 30s?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a
Beaker.
This is
would
a
be
fellow
a cool
olden person who's asking.
Yeah,
this
Beaker
question.
Animal would be a sick character to play.
There's a lot of modern Muppet stuff. They even had a TV show recently,
they have, yeah,
5
Muppets
years
are so
ago,
good,
dude.
man.
Yeah, they had a modern TV show that they tried to do it all office style, like with like the interviews and the camera zooms and pans and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it was on just recently.
All right, very good.
All right, let's do the next question here. Wasik via Twitter asks, which would you rather be cursed with, permanent nose whistle or your sense of smell is 50% effective of what it is now?
All right. First of all, I'm Googling what nose whistle is.
You don't know what a nose whistle is?
I'm assuming it was when you breathe, it whistles. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, when you breathe with your nose, you hear that.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It's never happened to me, but I'm assuming it's a thing.
I guess.
Absolutely.
Humans are all sorts of weird people. I guess why not? Why not?
Never had a nose whistle, especially when you're sick. When it gets all cloggy and gunky, then you get the nose whistle.
No, I just can't breathe out of that nostril at all.
Yeah, it just closes. I guess, yeah, why not? I don't know why I'm surprised about this. Sure. But
I mean, right now, I would go for the second answer, lowering my sense of smell by 50%, Only because right now I can really smell my cat's litter and it's really gross and it's kind of making me sick.
Same.
And I need to clean
Gross,
it
same.
right
I need
now.
to change mine as well.
I need to clean this litter right now because
tomorrow during my lunch break, I'm going to get some
You guys don't
litter.
scoop it every day?
I scoop it every day, but it just eventually just gets gnarly.
Stinks. Yeah,
Like you have to. But I mean, I will say one thing. Having cleaned your cat's litter before, David, you have the largest litter boxes that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, really?
Like you just have tubs. Like you could fit like 8 cats in that thing all at once.
Wow.
How often do you actually cycle out the whole litter in there?
First of all, like basically 1 cat fits in there because I've seen 2 try to fit in there and they haven't made it work. Second of all, I don't know, maybe once a month.
Damn, that's good, dude. I'm like once a week.
Dude,
But I buy really cheap, crappy litter. I buy Tidy Cat that's $2.99 for a giant bag.
I mean, I have the same cat litter that David has, confirmed by his wife. So, it's just my cats. That's another thing too. So I remember cleaning your cat litter box, and then the next day, 24 hours later, cleaning it again, and they barely did anything. Like my cats are like peeing and pooing in their litter box like constantly. Like I go 24 hours without scooping it and like the whole box is just full of crap, dude. I don't know what it is. Like my cats produce so much waste, dude, and they don't eat human food at all. It's crazy.
Well, I think Miles produces the normal amount of waste and eats plenty of human food because I'm a terrible pet owner, but yeah, I do. My litter lasts like a week. I get rid of it.
Okay. All right. Well,
I should probably invest in nicer litter.
I did not realize that was a thing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the litter we buy is not expensive, particularly, right?
No, it's not. It's not a crazy one, but I think it's better than Tidy Cat for sure.
Probably not this.
Yeah, I have like bottom tier. Like the only thing worse than mine is like store brand.
But like mine lasts for a month. I don't know. Anyway,
we have the world's best cat litter, is what it's called. That's the one that we use, so it's pretty good.
Would I rather be cursed with permanent nose whistle or sense of smell is 50% effective?
50% smell for sure.
What's your answer?
50% smell for sure.
Yeah, I think that'd be less annoying. I agree with you. Yeah. I'd get used to that more probably.
Because I mean, the thing about it is, honestly, sense of smell really affects how things taste.
That's true.
You would also lose a lot of your taste by losing the sense of smell.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, that might actually make me eat healthier. So, maybe it would probably be better anywhere. So
then food has become sustenance rather than something that you do for fun.
What do you got?
All right. Next question is Nat via Twitter. What's a question you thought you would have been asked by now but haven't? And what is the answer to that question? Well, this is vague. What's a question you thought you would have been asked by now but haven't? And what is the answer to that question?
Nobody's asked why I'm tackling someone on the entering video.
But I think we all know, right?
I don't think everybody knows. I really would be surprised if everybody that watches this show knows what the deal is with that. But also the answer is way too long. I was on a reality show. I tackled the guy trying to scare me and I beat him up.
You didn't know that you were on a reality show?
No, I had no idea. I thought that this guy was going to murder people and me, so I beat him up. Like, that's the short answer.
Which is pretty... And please don't leave out the part that you saw him attacking and maybe stabbing a woman and you, like, ran up to save her life.
Well, I mean, I was there. It's not like I saw it from across the street. I was with them, I didn't run into a burning building to save the cat or anything, but yeah. I mean, I'm a big guy. Like, I can't run. It's fight or flight. It's always fight for me. There's no flight. I'm not getting away from anyone.
You look at that clip, dude. You can tell the adrenaline kicked in, dude. You can tell the adrenaline kicked in.
I was schmoovin'.
Yeah.
You were schmoovin'? Yeah, you were. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you were definitely schmoovin'.
I guess I thought somebody would ask, like, what's the most amount of times you almost got arrested in any one night? And nobody's asked that.
The most amount of times you've been arrested?
What's your record for
that was the Mexico trip that you went on when you like stole a flag and shit, right?
How did you know?
You talked about it on here.
You've
Really?
definitely told the story on here.
Yeah, you told that story.
This was in Mexico when you like stole a flag off of the wall of a bar or something like that. And yeah.
And then like a golf cart was involved or something. Or a golf field, golf course. Something like that. You were somewhere where we weren't supposed to be.
That's a safe bet. Okay, fine. Never mind.
Yeah, you've definitely talked about it on the stream before.
I mean, the question that I want to ask, have you ever locked yourself outside of your car in an embarrassing situation?
At least once, yes. Thank you.
God, what was the question for me? Jesus. I mean, a lot of times ask me if I'm married or if I have kids, I guess. But I guess that's something that people do actually ask me. So what would be a question that people don't actually ask me? I mean, okay, well, here's one. People always assume that I am more of a cat person than a dog person, which in fact, that is absolutely not true. I am just an animal person, and I am that guy. Like, nobody ever asked me the question because they all think I'm just a cat person. But I am that guy that every time I see a dog on the street or anywhere, I'm like, dog, dog. And like, I have to go and ask the person if I can pet their dog. And like, whenever my neighbor's dog comes running up to me, she loves me to death, and I just hug the hell out of that dog. That dog has literally given me a concussion and shurikened me before because I leaned down to hug her when she jumped up to greet me, and her head clocked my jaw into my upper jaw, and like literally I had like a mild concussion afterwards. It was pretty crazy, but I still love that dog to death. But you know, I love all animals. Like I just go, and it's crazy too, because a lot of times I'll be walking around and, you know, there'll be an attractive girl with a dog, and I'm like, I just really want to pet the dog. Like, I don't care about the girl, but like, how do you do this without being weird and awkward and stuff? But I mean, I'm the guy in the pet store that every time there's a pet walking around, like I like stalk the dude, like, and the dog, until I get to the point where I'm like, can I pet your dog? And they're like, sure. And then I get to pet the dog and stuff like that. I love dogs. So I'm just an animal person in general. So there you go.
You should get a dog, James.
I want to. In fact, I would have had one were it not for the commentary job. Honestly. Because I travel so much and I don't have anyone to look over the dog. I don't want to do that to a dog. I travel too much. My place is small and I want a really large dog. And so I can't do that. I can't, with good conscience, get a dog and travel as much as I do, unless I get a significant other and, you know, we are serious and she can stay behind and take care of the dog, kind of thing. So that's basically it.
All right, next one.
All right, next question here. Oops, that's the same question.
Oh no.
Let me paste this in here. There you go. All right. Deadeye Dave via Discord asks, what's the biggest animal you could defeat in an unarmed fight? Now, I'm going to say this. This is not the answer to the question. Someone asked what kind of dog I would get. I am a big fan of golden retrievers. I really, really want a golden.
Grown up.
Yeah.
That's
golden
cute.
He was
retrievers.
named Tommy after the White Power Ranger.
Oh,
the
dang,
Green Ranger.
that's
then White
awesome.
Ranger.
Dude,
pretty
golden
cool.
retrievers are also very good with other animals. They're good with kids. They have very good temperaments. And so that's like, and they're just cute and freaking adorable. They're beautiful dogs. They're so beautiful.
Nobody doesn't like a golden retriever, you know?
Yeah, basically.
Like, some people disagree on dog breeds, but nobody doesn't like a golden retriever.
Yeah, dude, they're so beautiful.
I could defeat a human. That's the biggest animal that I could defeat in an unarmed fight. A human being.
Biggest human.
You've seen the video of the guy who
What about the biggest
kangaroo,
human?
right?
I mean, maybe I can't beat the biggest human. Although, on the other hand, many of the people who are the tallest and largest in the world are actually not pictures of health. They have joint problems. or they have muscle problems or ligament problems. So maybe I could actually. Maybe I could.
I mean, you ever see Kobe Bryant dunk on Sean Bradley? Yeah, that definitely was a mismatch.
Well, I don't like my chances versus Sean Bradley, to be honest.
I mean, I don't like my chances. Kobe's 6'6".
Yeah, that is true.
Kobe will mess you up too. What you mean?
He's kind of pretty big himself. That's fair.
Kobe's a large human as well.
Yeah.
The largest animal I could defeat in hand-to-hand combat. I mean, there's probably a lot. There's probably a lot of really big, dumb animals, right?
Well, I'm thinking something like a whale or something like that, because when they're
you
on
could
land,
never kill them with your bare hand.
But that's the thing, is I would just sit there and wait, because we're on land, and it would basically eventually die from being on dry land, and then I would go kick it a couple of times and claim victory. Like, I would turtle it to death.
I guess you're using your human smarts, which is our big one-up on other species, but I still feel like that's not really what we're talking about here.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have a good answer for this. Like, whatever's big and stupid.
A sloth.
Show me a big I mean, a sloth's not even big. Yeah. Also, a sloth can, like, they have serious poison. They'll mess you up.
So you want to see a big dumb animal?
Yeah, they're poisonous.
Humans. You could beat me up for sure.
Probably the best call.
Definitely a big dumb animal.
Most of the answers to questions that are like, what about animals? It's mostly humans is the answer.
Yeah.
So, okay. So everybody, YouTube and on Twitter and watching this right now, make sure you add the caveat, not counting humans.
Yes.
So that Dave can't answer that question. So you can lawyer your way around that answer from him every single time. That is
my trick has been revealed by me, I guess.
All right, next one.
Next question. Deadeye Dave again asks via Discord, any guilty pleasures if you possess no capacity for guilt? Name objectively terrible or low quality things or activities you like regardless. A guilty pleasure.
I like a good crappy cookie. I think that's my answer here. I like
That's
cookies.
your answer?
Yeah. I like
you like the banquet beer and a crappy cookie is your answer?
I like the what?
The banquet beer.
Coors?
You like straight up Coors. Coors is disgusting.
I do like Coors.
I've seen you hard body the worst of beers, and the cookies is what you go to?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with cookies on this. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So I have access to extremely high quality cookie making ability. It's like right over there. And and like pretty regularly I can get just like the toppest quality of cookies. But also sometimes I just want to like go to the grocery store and buy one of those like real crappy sugar cookies that come in a dozen for $2 and eat those. And I don't know, there's something about the taste that is not as good, but also just like good in a different way.
It's like home.
Dude, there's sometimes like
I don't know, it's weird.
I know exactly what you mean, because like I have access to some of the best Chinese food in the world, and sometimes going to those little crappy little Chinese food, corner store places and getting like this terrible chow mein and stuff like that, and this really greasy Chinese food sometimes just hits the spot. I don't know, like it's
right.
weird.
No, I think that's totally true. Like I people are asking if it's nostalgia. In part, I think it is nostalgia. Recently, I got some crappy sugar cookies that used to show up to my synagogue every week. After Shabbat, there's like a little dinner, not dinner, it's like after dinner at that point, but kind of like a dessert. And there were always these same cookies. And every synagogue I've been to has had those same cookies. I don't know why or how, but like that's just how it's been. And I saw those at the store and I bought them and I ate them and they weren't good at all. But also I enjoyed eating them a lot.
I hated every second, but also it was great.
I don't know. That's how it is, dude. That's my guilty pleasure. And I definitely have to hide those. I don't normally hide the like food that I get, because like it's fine. But
Would Kentley get mad at you if she saw that you bought them?
She doesn't anymore, but occasionally she used to.
Cantley, come to the
I'll just
stream.
make you some cookies, David.
Cantley.
Damn it!
That's exactly what she said.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
why don't
have
you
her.
just ask
I'm
me to bake
texting
cookies?
her, dude. I'm texting her right now.
Yeah, you should let her
Where
know.
do you hide
Look in
these
the
things,
cabinet, in the
dude?
back of the cabinet.
Where are you
No,
hiding
not all
these
my
things,
places.
dude?
I don't have any currently stored, but
God.
maybe soon.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. My guilty pleasure is weed. I mean, it's illegal in my state, so I'm guilty. And let me tell you, it's quite a pleasure. So that's pretty obvious for me, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say like, I don't know. Like, obviously, we're all going with consumption stuff. Like, mine would probably be just Pepsi because, like, God knows that shit is bad for you, you know. And I drink.
I mean, it could also be like media, right? Like, is there a really shitty movie you love?
shitty
you know, or
movie,
you like
shitty
crappy
movie, or
bands,
like some
you know?
crazy activity that you like to do for no reason. Like, I like backyard wrestling, you know, and like destroying
seems fun.
myself, you know.
I would absolutely go to a James Chen backyard wrestling match. Holy
Absolutely.
shit.
Dude,
I would pay top dollar to see that.
I have 2 mattresses and 2 box springs for myself to jump into right now. So, you know, I think that would actually work out. God, what would be a guilty pleasure for
I
me?
like listening to Roller Girl. This is like an ongoing joke that I don't think anybody else gets, but I like it a lot.
Can someone please ban Funko from the chat, you know, for saying Pepsi sucks? 'Cause
Oh, no.
that definitely doesn't. No,
Water
don't,
sucks. It really, really sucks.
don't actually ban him,
Gatorade.
but he is on my shit list right now. I see you, Funko. I
All right,
see you.
Mikey.
I see you.
All right.
All right, what's the
Well-
last one we got? Let's be quick about this. We're about to make the time. We got a minute and a half left. We're gonna be fast here.
Once again,
We have
Mr.
looked at the Discord for these questions for a while, so these are all Deadeye Dave in Discord because we just hadn't looked at it for the last 3 weeks. I don't know whose fault that was.
All right,
Whoever
here we
gathers
go.
these questions, I guess.
Deadeye Dave via Discord asks, "What's your favorite travel abroad experience?" We answered
Scotland.
this. We answered
Yeah, we've already
this
answered
last
this one.
week.
Oh, did we?
This
Okay.
is- yeah, we did answer that one. It
Yeah,
was
there you go,
Scotland. And then James was
Kuwait.
Kuwait, yeah. And
Oh,
David's
yeah.
was I don't remember.
I don't remember answering, but
All right, cool.
I see.
Oh no, you weren't here that week. It was with me and
Yeah,
James. I think.
yeah. It was 2 weeks
It
ago.
was James.
That's why you don't.
That's why you don't remember, David.
That's why.
So
you don't
David,
remember.
what is your favorite traveling abroad experience?
it would have to be when I was refused entry into the United Kingdom and was kept in French jail for a few hours. And then I haven't told the story.
You love jail, don't you, dude? You like being in jail all the time.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
so
so-
David. That's perfect.
all right,
No,
well-
you can't come in the UK, you asshole. Go to
I
France.
was studying abroad in
Welcome
London.
to
My friends and I went to the
music jail.
continent, and I forgot to take my passport. That was fine to get onto the continent, but then to get back into the UK, they require your passport again, which I didn't have. So they took me out of the bus and kept me in French jail for 6 hours. And after that, they just let me go. And I was just like roaming the northern French countryside for 3 days, trying to figure out what to do. It's true. I literally left jail, walked to a nearby mall that I saw in the distance, asked somebody what to do in broken French that I hadn't used in years. And they were like, there's a town down the way. So I walked and I found a taxi eventually. And that taxi took me into the city. The city had no more rooms. And so we had to go to another city. That one did have a room. I found a hostel. I met a dude from the Isle of Man, and we hung out for the next 2 or 3 days as in Lille, in northern France, as I was waiting for my friends in London to send me my passport via mail. So I just had nothing to do, and we just like walked around this old French city and actually had a fantastic time. It was amazing, but not planned. It was cool.
Cool. That's a story.
That's the story. From the Isle of Man. All right,
Is that the mailbox? Are we done?
We're done with the mailbox.
I am birding people right now. So
Dope. I'm gonna go stream, guys.
Tubbleware is going to be streaming on twitch.tv/Tubbleware. You can head there now if you'd like. We're also going to raid him in a little bit. So enjoy.
are you gonna run some ads first, David?
I will.
Yeah, run some ads and I'll go live on Twitch and
Okay, sounds good.
it'll be good.
All right,
y'all.
guys. Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.